Sound test, sound test. Sound test, sound test. Hey, Chris, can you hear me? Good, 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 good. All right, good. Just doing final checks here. Awesome. Oh, yeah, I'm doing good. None of my guests are here yet. Oh, someone just popped on, I think. Oh, maybe it's Anna. Okay. It's still not working. We are good. Hello. Dennis says he'll be on, so we're good.
Awesome. Yeah.
It's Wednesday already. I don't know where the week's going.
Yeah.
I guess-
It's kind of but it's and our dog Chico ran away twice today. So.
Oh my gosh, you got him twice?
Oh yeah. He doesn't go far. First he went into the neighbor's yard and dug around there and poked around, and then he was saw the male woman come in and awesome, and he ran around after her.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so the problem is that Mike, he wanted to sit outside and he didn't look behind him, and Chico is so damn sneaky that,
Uh-oh.
Oh, he's smart. He's smart. He waits behind you and sneaks out.
Sneaky, sneaky.
Oh yeah, he has good stealth. He's skilled at.
Yes, you do, man.
Back
Although
in
we came in
2001,
dead
when we
last that
first
one
began
day. You
working
played
with
with
Gary
Anna and
Gygax,
me
he
and
pitched this wonderful
Brian
series
and
of
Will,
books
and we
to
came in
us.
dead last in
Yeah,
that
he called them
event.
the Gygaxian Fantasy Worlds.
You were
And
part
what
of
he
that.
envisioned was this encyclopedic set of books for role players, writers, game designers, the whole lot of us. We could use in making our games, creating our adventures, writing stuff for publishable content, whatever it may be.
Yeah,
And there was really
Jeremy, I
no
technically
ends
don't
to
play
what he
2E. I call it a
envisioned
1E,
this
2E
series to be.
hybrid
We
because
eventually
it's a
published
lot of
Phantom Crew,
2E
the World Builder,
stuff,
Living
especially
Fantasy,
priests
7
and
volumes in total. We had
elementalists and
another
wild mages and
3
stuff,
that
but
were
it's
ready
all
to go to
back
print,
done into, for
another
the
3 or
most
4
part,
after
into
that
1E
we were
rule
working
set.
on. So the series was really
So,
opening.
but I call it
We are
1E, 2E
bringing
just
these
because,
back. That's what
know,
this Kickstarter is.
yeah,
We've got
kinda
7
is.
books online ready to be printed. We've got another 3 right after that we want to get it minimally out as we were working on
Sorry,
at the time.
I'm guzzling
Those will
coffee.
be on
Oh, by the
download
way,
PDF,
if I'm
depending on how
grumpy,
well
this
the
is my
Kickstarter
third
does,
day on
and
the,
maybe even more than that. Once we kind of push
what do you call it?
beyond the
when
the
you
necessary
diet for like
stretch goals and all
18
that
hours
mess.
out of the day.
But welcome to the what we're calling the Gary Gygax World Building
What the heck's
Archives.
that called?
And please give us your support. Share it around if you can.
Yeah,
Pledge
so
if
it's
you can.
black coffee
whatever you need to
only.
do, whatever you can do for us and the memory of Gary Gygax, we very much appreciate it.
Yeah, the fasting diet, kinda. So
Trollord Games.
from dinner
Join the
time
fray.
till noon the next day, I don't eat anything. So I lost 5 pounds already. So something's working. So it's working somehow. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Red Box was 3rd. That's Menser basic. So that's Beckme, right? No, that's BX. Or is Beckme his? I always get Volvase in his because you got basic and you got one of them's called Beckme and one of them's BX. No, the BX is Volvase. Basic I prefer. Yeah, it's Beckme's. That's yes, you got the 3rd. You got the 3rd basic series. Cool. Good deal. It's awesome here. Yes, if I'm cranky, it's because I'm on this. I'm doing this. So, oh, okay. Yeah, I want to get like my vacation time like 210. I think I can do that. So, working it. Thanks, Kai. Thank you very much. Oh, let me set up the classic DTV break giveaway. Will I remember? Okay, it's done.
Set up here.
Alright. Keep an eye out for Malden.
Mm-hmm.
I know the little earlier time slot's tough for some people, but it's working so well. Oh, cool. Spelljammer, that's cool. Very cool. So with my Keurigs, I actually, I like the dark Tim Horton, if you can believe that. So, drinking Canadian coffee. And then French vanilla Dunkin' Donut curry flavor. So that's it. I also do Lavazza sometimes. Yeah, it's good. But I just like, in the morning, all I'm doing is drinking water and coffee now for when I get up for the first 5 hours. I'm like, oh. So, I'm used to being a breakfast guy, and now that I'm not for now. All right, Rascal. I will get with Carlos and just remind him. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of good. I used to love Jamaican Blue Mountain too. I was a big Jamaican Blue Mountain guy back in the day. But that stuff, they didn't have Keurigs back then. That shit so expensive. Early's good. All right. We're a minute or two early, which is no big deal. All right, Malden's getting set up, so he just sent me a Discord, so I know he'll be on within 5 minutes, but we'll come. I love friend. Yeah, just to change it up. All right, let's come live on me here. Boom. All right, what's going on, Anna? How are you?
Oh, good. Yep.
Except for running
just
around chasing
exactly.
your dog.
We have to, yeah. Chico, he's actually here now, so
Oh, that's good.
He's
to hear
been around, been out and about in the neighborhood twice today. So yeah.
Yeah, it's good. He's not like run off.
Oh, he doesn't go far. He just wants to have fun in the neighbor's backyard and chase the male person and stuff like that.
Oh, well, that's cool. As long as the male carriers don't mind.
Oh, she's been the same woman in 10 years, so she knows both me and the dog now. So my old dog was so it's good. Yeah.
So this was another one where it's a Mike idea, but Mike ain't gonna be here, I guess, because his game didn't get canceled. So he hasn't had a lot of cancellations lately. But Dennis Malden is coming on, which is beautiful for this one. Because Dennis is like the genius when it comes to, he has maps everywhere. Hey, Bones, what's going on? It's not that far off till the Red Wedding.
Yep. There we go.
I'm really, really excited. Oh yes, it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait for that. But so, yes. Well, hopefully it'll happen. No, I'm just kidding. Of course I'll let that happen. I'm gonna let that part happen, but it's just what happens afterwards, So I'm looking for I got to figure out I got to get to Malden's. I'm looking here. I'm trying to get to his Underdark section on his site, but I'll let him direct me. I'll just keep it on his front page. All right, so yeah, it's gonna be a blast. 4 streams this week.
And 4 last week, I think, too.
Yeah, and what's really crazy, the end of the month, well, it's not even the end of the month. Next week, 5. Because I don't think it's been announced yet, but the morning, right, so we have this, right? We have this going on Saturday, May 25th. That's wrong. That's the week after. That's Bones' game, but she's GMing. Now this, here we go. Yes, this is at 6 o'clock. It's a CDT again. It should say EDT. I know I fixed it. Oh my God, it's painful.
Yeah, you have to have the.
Yeah, I know it's EDT, everyone. I don't know why. I could have sworn I fixed that, and it's probably I pulled it from a different location. It's EDT. All right, but before that, and Anna, it's 6 o'clock in the morning for you for this, but it's the only way I can make this work.
Oh, I'd love to get up early from
the only way I can make this work that day. And it's the only Saturday morning that'll work for me. because and then I got my mom's birthday at 12, and then from 12 to 3, then I come
Yeah,
back and final
I
prep for.
saw that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Yep.
We
So
got
no
Rob
worries.
Kuntz on a special gab, and it just so happens it's number 300 too. That's really
Mm-hmm.
bizarre.
Yeah.
Saturday morning at 9 a.m. that day.
Maybe
So
you can have oh, we can't
hey,
do
but
a
hey,
special one in the
it
evening
does
to have like
in the evening.
a
I got the
300
oh when
on the 18th, no,
no,
or
because I had the
something.
game with Ed.
Oh, that's true.
That's it
Yes.
that night. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
this is the only, and I have games every other Saturday morning.
Yeah.
This is the
Yep.
only Saturday I can do it in the month of May. So
Yep.
yes, Rob Kuntz Saturday morning, May
Mm-hmm.
18th.
Yep.
So
That's
that'll be 5
fantastic.
streams
Hello.
next week.
Hey,
Why not? Dennis, good to see you.
good to
Yeah.
see you guys.
Yes.
How's it going?
It's going real
good.
well. Thanks
Yep.
for coming on.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Mike had his game. I don't know. He didn't say
Yeah.
anything. So
I hope it's
So this
calmed
is
down a little bit at work. Yeah.
another Mike idea that Mike's not going to be at, eh?
Exactly. So you have to
yes.
come and save us. So yep. Mhm.
Oh, this is fun. I know we went over a lot of this.
I'm the replacement Mike. I'm Mike version 2.
That's right. But you're yes a
Yep.
little. It's like you're from the Bizarro world, Mike, because you each have your own
Ooh.
specialties, right? Each have
Mhm.
your own little quirks and changes and stuff. So it's
Yeah.
cool. All right, so we're doing classic D&D reprints tonight, and we got a lot of wonderful things going to be going on. Yeah, that's it there. That's the Underdark connection there. I was looking on your thank Michael Zudrak, thank you. Malin, I'm looking on your page here and it's your site map, and I'm like, where the heck is the Underdark connection? I see it now. I see it. Duh, I see it.
I need to pull it up now. Hang on here.
Yeah, we got it. Thank you very much there too, because
Yeah.
Rex Fellis, it's on the wrong machine. So I got that I got it on my laptop right here in the chat. So there we go. We're here. Okay.
Let me pull up my own website.
Yep.
Here.
So what we're gonna be bouncing around all over like we normally do, and we got this, we got all sorts of fun things, and some other maybe some theoretical things we can discuss too. So the Underdark has been the how do I say this? The little extra carrot I think that Greyhawk had from day one, because like it was like, wow, you're going deep underground. That's cool, beyond adventuring out in the cities, adventuring in the mountains, which you had with it. But then you went, that was what drew me in. Was, oh my god, I'm gonna meet the Dark Elves, because it said in the original. What's it? The original monster manual or the player's handbook? It says Dark Elves are only lore or legend, right? And they hadn't been written up or anything yet. And then this stuff started coming out. So those were the times. It was awesome. Just a glorious time frame. That's what I remember, and that's before Night Below or before any of the other stuff came out. So, Anna, you ever adventure down here, down the Underdark?
In the Underdark, yes, but I invented my own version. We were down we had one down here when we were down with the drow, so to speak, but I kind of teleported them there, so we didn't go overland all the way down.
Yeah,
so. But I done the Underdark. Yeah, we had one summer adventure. We all said we should do one Underdark, so we did a summer. We played like a week. We played every day for a week.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because I remember, like, when I was young, every, in the summer, every night we'd be playing.
Yeah, we did this in the mid-90s. I think we did a week campaign or 5 days or something like that.
I'm thinking that we
Yeah.
did a lot. The first time we ever did the G through the D series, we did it before the Order of Ulick was even set. I think it's 79.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 79, 80 we did it, right in that time frame. So it was the Monster Manual that said that, Lord Forth. Yeah, I remember it was one of them that said that original, hey, this is their only legend. So let's see when Dennis gets his headset on. There we go. Dude, that is...
I'm getting sound is breaking up on me. I wonder if it's my headset's low on battery power. So
yeah.
How about now? You good? You good?
Yep, sound so far.
Oh,
I was
yeah,
just
we
trying
can
to
hear
see
you.
if I can find...
Dude, that shirt is awesome.
Here.
That shirt's awesome, man. Yeah, look at that. Nice. That's a professional.
Thanks. I'll pass it on. My wife found it, so I'll pass it on to her that you like it.
So, Dennis, first ever memories of the Underdark. Like, how old? 12?
For
For
you
you.
mean my age?
Yeah, well, yeah, like just wow. D1 through 3. Wow.
1980 for me when we first start. It was really early on in our campaign, in my campaign. I was
We,
already 20,
yeah,
so
we played that through when I was
I'm
like
I'm
a
older
bit over
than
20.
I seem.
Yeah.
But
Well,
but
I'm
no.
older than you, I think. So but I played it probably when I was like 19, 20, or the first couple of years before I started running in Greyhawk properly. We played the Giants and some of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, the
Hey, Taryn.
Giant series into the Underdark series, that was 1980 for us. So yeah, it was.
That's right when it
Probably
came out.
81, 82. Yeah, we
Oh yeah,
played it a
no,
couple of
right,
years
right
after
when
it came out.
it's when they were released.
And,
That's when we
Yeah.
played it.
And we
and
usually played it a couple of years after, 1 or 2 years after, when shipping had made it to
Oh
Scandinavia, so
well,
to
yeah.
speak. So
the original
yeah, so
monochrome ones
yeah.
too, you know.
And we had our DMs ran it for us, so it wasn't set in a campaign. It was just an
Taryn.
adventure. We just went there and killed things. It wasn't organized. I didn't know about Greyhawk or anything when we
Well, that's all
played
right.
those things. Yep.
So a couple of things that I remember is that I always
Where
thought
is my night below?
how much this is like the adventure where our characters are traveling more than ever, right? Because it's just like miles and miles and miles. Oh, Taryn, of course. You know, down, below, and beneath. And then, so there's some really, I pulled out, and I didn't use these last time, but I think Gaetano did some of these, and we haven't seen him in a long time. I hope he's all right. But like, let me bring this up here. I think this is a really cool map that was done. It shows it well. I'll leave this up when Dennis comes back.
Oh no, I'm here. I'm
Okay.
rummaging through the bookshelf that's right next to my desk here to pull this out.
Nice. Yes. Here you go. Dueling boxes. Yeah. Yep. I have not had this that long. Probably 2 years. That's it. That was one of the ones
I
My
lost the box somehow, but I have the content is sitting in my shelves. Yeah.
excellent.
yeah.
So this map here shows like, and it even has where Kendall Keep B2 is reset for return, right? To return to the Keep on the Borderlands, right? Near the Path of Slaughter. So you have specifically where, like, you know, G1, G2, and then where G3 starts in the Underdark. And note that it is, you know, I think you got a really detailed map, but this is one of the oldest ones I pulled out. I bought G1 to 3 at the card store in Westmont. Oh my, Clover. Oh my God, Michael. Seemed like a greeting card store would have D&D material. Right in front of Place 834. I think I got mine down at the Berlin auction at the D&D store down there. That's it. Fablemancers, thank you. I think that's where I got mine. So, yeah, but it just goes to show you how big Greyhawk is when you think about it. That you have G1, G2, and then G3, but then the entire march for the Vault of the Drow is only 2 hexes,
Oh yeah.
right?
Well, and you can see that on my overview map as well.
And we're going to show that in a second. You're really detailed one.
I have the spidery outline of the index map from the D series. So it's superimposed on the location, so you can get a good idea of the size.
We're going to put all your stuff up in a second. I'm going to get through the old stuff first. Look at this.
Yeah, sure.
Look at this one. This is a great crossover one. I don't know who did this one, but look, they crossed over the larger map with the map under. I think that's cool. So yeah, showing where everything is, you know, and showing which adventure the underground encounters are. I thought that was neat too. You know, and just showing how here's where the hexes go, so you can see how D3 fits just
It was
that hex.
Hexomania. It was like hex lovers.
Yeah.
They got like a treat from that map. There's probably more hexes on that map than any traveler map I've ever seen. There are some really hexy traveler maps. Yeah.
Yeah, but what's great is Dennis goes so much further than this map, and that's what I'm trying to get to. Is that this is all the old stuff that I was able to dig up, and then it goes 100 place.
Well, also, I think a lot of the earlier publications purposefully tried to not get bogged down in hammering, nailing down a location, and it was more kind of up to the DMs to kind of
Mm-hmm.
True.
find
That,
the details of where they wanted it to be.
a real
For
good
one thing,
point.
that's the players wouldn't know where it was if they they had
Well, the
the
map, the only
publication there.
information you get from the map is the relations and the distances. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, Patrick,
There's
thanks,
no other
man.
information you get from it, really.
Hey,
Patrick cranking it up here.
lots
Thank
of
you.
subs there.
Awesome.
Wow, the
Yeah.
graphic, the World of Greyhawk hex overlay on the. Yeah, I get it to you, Michael. It's not a problem. I will get that to you. So, but we can all assume that Bones. Thanks for getting that type train going. Thank you so very much. We can all assume that there are other Underdark locations, right? We can all make that assumption.
Of course,
Yeah.
not all of it is clumped
Why did
together
that
in one
stop?
corner. That seems ridiculous.
Yeah, that was weird how all of the shout outs just stopped. Yeah, very strange. So, how much, and I know we're going to get to the Dennis's stuff, which is crazy. What,
Yes, I am.
I'm trying to pose this in the right type of question. When you were young and you had all the base ones, I don't know how much module writing you were doing at the time, but I wasn't doing that much, right? A lot of it was just, I'm going to run this series, I'm going to run that series, right?
Well, the Underdark as a concept was not really invented back then. It became invented back then, both the term and the concept and the idea that you should have, meaning the idea of having dungeons was kind of invented with D&D and the Castle Greyhawk and the first one. But to tie them together, to have like a long story arc all happening in, meaning take the dungeons, and even more than the mega dungeon, meaning this is systems of mega dungeons. That's what we kind of mean with the Underdark. Yeah, so it's like there's of course the inspiration of Tolkien with Moria and stuff like that. From that was the, I guess, the inspiration for a lot of the dungeon work in the beginning to have it. But this was kind of experimental, so to speak. So in the beginning it was just you went underground because the rules said so. And it wasn't much more than that. And the idea that you have a game setting with an enormous, vast worlds underground, that was something that came from this and then was experimented on and refined. And then we have the latest stories like the Night Below and we have the Restored and books from Forgotten Realms and all of them. Meaning those were refinements and elaborations and stuff from the early thing. But in the beginning of Greyhawk, we barely had something. It wasn't invented. It wasn't called the Underdark until later, I think. And
yeah.
Well,
so I think younger viewers and people who didn't game back then have to realize this was when this was invented, so to speak.
Yeah, the Underdark. So because. And I don't know if when they started calling it Underdark, Sam, I don't know if you know, but the language Undercommon was right in the original D books. That was the language.
I think the term came early. I'm sure if you go back in Dragons, you can probably find it early on. So the term was probably coined back then.
Yeah, I don't know how to.
With Undercommon and all of that. So yeah.
Yeah, I know Undercommon was in here as a language, and
I think it went quickly, meaning Dungeoneer, Survival Guide and stuff, meaning it only took a few years, but it was that early 80s, late 70s, early 80s. Those were the formative years when this took shape and then it took on a life on its own and became one of the staples of fantasy and D&D.
It was called Underworld and no D&D. Okay. All
okay.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm thinking that we used to just call the entire D series the Vault, right? Because that's where you had to get to at the end. That was even though it wasn't the whole thing.
Well, when the D series
was called the Vault,
when the D series was the only thing, it was the first. It was a location. It was another location. It was another dungeon, a really big dungeon.
Yeah.
But I don't think people thought of it as kind of almost the equivalent of another plane, certainly another planet, like the way it's separated from the surface in a lot of ways. And part of that early separation, I think Gary Gygax did that because he wanted once players started in it, they couldn't turn back. What he didn't want people is teleporting back and forth between the Underdark and the surface
And
and
you couldn't.
re-equipping, and he
Mhm.
wanted to force them on a one-way trip,
Yeah.
right? And so he then creates these mechanics of, well, you can't teleport in the Underdark because of and then they use the MacGuffin of the minerals,
Yeah.
blocking the
Oh,
that.
you couldn't teleport down there in Star Trek, so right?
Yeah.
Right?
It's
They
too
could never
much
teleport
mass.
down
Yeah.
there.
Mhm.
So yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
And that was in the
so
future.
yeah.
And Rob
Um,
Kuntz is on, everyone, again. So welcome, Rob.
oh, is he? Oh, great,
Yeah, yeah,
Welcome.
Rob.
Rob
Awesome.
Below.
Yeah.
Thank you all for that hype train. Thank you. Woohoo! You guys are all awesome.
So yeah, Dungeoneer's Survival Guide was 1986.
Right.
That's pretty.
That's
That's pretty far at the beginning of things.
Mhm.
That's only 6 years after the D series, right?
Yeah.
my lake level in Cirque CGH2 was not a level part of the underworld with connections to elsewhere. Nice. So I'm going to put this. So let's
Oh, okay.
chat about that in less than 2 weeks as well. So, right, everyone, Rob will be on. It'll be a Saturday morning 300th Gavin special event. The fourth time Rob will be on.
Wow,
9
nice.
a.m. on the 18th. Yes. So, because that's the way, with the 6 hour difference, it works that way. So, we'll have Rob on. We'll show that out in a little bit. But yeah, that would be awesome to hear about that. Love to hear about the old stuff. Really?
Yeah.
That's what I think we should go with this discussion.
So, Rob, you're in Europe these days?
He can't.
Mhm.
His hearing's in and out on his thing.
Oh,
But yeah,
okay.
he lives in Corsica.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he lives in
I
Corsica.
didn't know that. I
Yep.
thought he was still in the States.
No, he lives in Corsica.
Nope.
So that's why
Yep.
it's a 6 hour
Oh.
difference. So I don't know how many times we went down there, but it's got to be like 4 to 6, right? With different adventuring groups and stuff. Because when you're a kid, you only had so many modules. You could only afford so many modules. You couldn't download them. You couldn't order them on drive-through.
Download?
Yeah, you couldn't do any of that. So
The Napster of adventures.
yeah, exactly. So you had, and if you could pool your resources and buy stuff, but I mean, how many were there then? Like 20 at most? A
was-
series,
yeah.
D series, G series, U series, Hamlet. There's no Temple of Elemental Evil yet.
No, not yet.
So what am I missing? Tomoacon, Tomb of Horrors. There
I
aren't
always
many.
pronounce that Tamoachin, but
Well, you got to remember, Dennis.
I
I'm
don't
a
know which
hacker.
is correct, though. I have no idea what's correct.
It's a fantasy name, so yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I can hack apart the best name out of all of them. Hey, Rob, Rob, I'm glad you had such a great game on Sunday night. Great to see. So I loved the whole allure of the Dark Elves got their own realm, and they're the bosses down there. And the Croatoans are down there too, but they seem to be just a mess. You just go right through that hall, and you could walk right through it and really just bypass it, right? In D2, you don't have to do much. You could just walk through.
Yeah.
And then there's like mind flayers running around. There's all sorts of other, and there's wandering monsters. The wandering monster tables are I'd say in these books, the wandering monster tables are the most detailed out of the early adventures. They'll go through
Yeah, probably.
all the combat parties, and they'll show. Let me just bring something up here. I know I'm all over the place today, but I just want to. I'm just trying to get my point. I mean, look here. There's some really good, and it would be nice if I switched this so you could see what the hell I was talking about. Scourge of the Slave Lords wasn't out then. It was just they're all individual. So, and here you go, drought patrols, but look, they got patrols, they got spellcaster stats, and they got the size of the merchant trains and what's in the merchant trains and all the I know slave's not a good word, but
Well, the huge percentage of the text from those adventures were, yeah, you're right, wandering monster tables. He inserted a lot of randomness into the adventures that way, but because it was a new environment being created, you couldn't just flip to the creature tables in the DMG, for example, right? So
right. UK series, Michael Zudrak was later too, like 83, 84. We're talking like 80, 81, 82. We're talking the years that I'm not even in high school yet. So, but yeah, so it was just, and I always said D3 is a campaign setting. It's not, it's an adventure, but it's a campaign setting. So, point I'm trying to make is that the lore to this was like grandiose. And then, Dennis, did you feel the same way? And this is where I'm trying to get to. Underdark comes out. Okay. Well, you can be one of those escaped ones that came to the surface to get rid of away from all the evil dark elves. You could PC a dark elf now, and you could PC a deep gnome now, and even
Right.
PC a Duragar. And I was like, no, not on that. But yeah, so what do you think on that?
I can't remember the first time we had Drow PCs. It was fairly early, but it was a group of characters that we created. It was actually an evil party that did the A series.
Oh, cool. Well, there are dark elves in the A series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we've not had a whole lot of non-standard classes and races in our campaign over the years. So I know others have gone to town on it, but I tended to keep things fairly level, except for that one party. And then years later, like say late 80s maybe, I had a group of I had a group of people when I was I think that was when I was doing my master's in Rochester, that we started an Underdark party that originated there, and the entire campaign was from there. That's when I created the city of Kor. They were based, that was their home city. So there was that group of adventurers that were just nothing but Underdark, and those were Drow, half Drow, half orcs. That's I think there even were a couple of Durgar in that party.
Okay.
And so we made a stab at just an entire Underdark campaign.
Nice.
From Origins to, when they quit playing, because we got to a point where everyone moved away and we couldn't continue it. And this was before online Roll20. You could play online, right?
Look at that. Rob Laura approves of Dark Elf PCs. Ha ha ha! That's what I mean. If you say a key point, type it in chat to Rob. Make sure Rob gets it. All right. So I thought and I had no problem with it. And we probably have at most 10 PC Dark Elves over 44 years. Not too many. Wow. At most. But I think
I don't think I've used them in any campaign.
No. Have you allowed them? There's a difference between used and allowed. You probably may
well, for me, it's the same thing, almost, because I don't think I'm even contemplating using them in any campaign as PCs. No, not so far. But I would like to run down the line.
You need to start a wholly Underdark campaign.
Oh yeah, I definitely want to run one again in the future, and then base it on Abdrow and Swerfneblins and whatnot. So yeah, definitely. Now I think I want, because now I have way more cool rules and stuff that I want to use and test, so to speak, like different vision senses and a whole bunch of cool stuff. So I definitely want to reach, because that's like out of planner stuff and so on. Now it's becoming, now I'm much more know what I'm doing. It's way more skilled in understanding what the heck it is. There was some mechanics and stuff, but I just read the player's handbook and some of these and adventures, and we cooked up something, but it wasn't a deep thought through campaign with and so on. There were some monsters and it was dark and they couldn't see anything when the lights went out, and then they had magic light, and then it wasn't a problem anymore. So that's to me is the sad bit. A lot of the rules that like, oh, once you solve the problem, you solve the problem, and then the environment is not much different from upstairs, so to speak, in the wilderness or regular dungeon. Once you have your magic light, problem solved. so to speak. The monsters are a little bit different. I want the rules to be different cultures and kind of be different in many ways. Meaning, once you deep down there, what if you have elemental magic that can be way more powerful, and other
Well,
stuff might be way less powerful, and
so
you know.
that brings up another key point
Mhm.
in the evolution here, and I'm just laying the background for
Yeah.
everyone here. So Underdark comes out and really throws a wrench into, if you really abuse the rules like my guys do,
Yeah.
with Dark Elf characters, because it says Dark Elves have no penalty dual wielding, right? So they can fight
Mhm.
longsword, and I guess and have no penalty at all. Whereas an elf has
Yeah.
longsword dagger, or
Mhm.
longsword horseman's
That's
mace or
the
whatever.
rules should have a little bit of ambiguity in them, so the DM can always rule
Right.
harsher, so to speak. The
Or
rules
that
should never be like this is the rule period. It should always be like it functions like this, and then a little bit. So the caveat that the DM can always make it harder or rule against it, so to speak.
right. But
Making DM judgment part of the rule.
but what happened was,
Yeah.
because of that, someone in their infinite wisdom go, well, if they have no penalty, that means they're ambidextrous. They can
Mhm.
specialize in both hands.
Yeah.
So now I have dual wielded, dual specialized characters,
Mhm.
Dark Elves in both hands.
Yeah.
Because that's what the rules say once weapon specialization came out officially.
Mhm.
And I'm like, what the hell? And then Dark Elves, they decided to allow Dennis. This is probably one of
Mhm.
the craziest things of all. I don't know why. I guess it makes sense if they're riding subterranean lizards. They'd allow Dark Elves to be Cavalier class.
Yeah. But
So
Oh,
that's the
okay.
yeah.
I didn't remember
If you
that.
have a
yeah,
nice crunchy system with lots of cool rules,
yeah, it's
the
crazy.
downside is that then these rules can be abused. That's
You
a
have Rob
rules light
on
system
Arcticana.
is harder
Definitely.
to abuse, meaning if there's a lot of rules to use, then there's also means that there's more to abuse. So it's kind of it comes with the
I don't
territory.
know
Meaning
about that, Anna.
no, look at third edition and Pathfinder 1, meaning it was so rules crunchy that also means that it was ripe for abuse. You
Right.
can always, meaning there was so many things and combinations that you can always build a super thing that can outsmart everybody
Well,
or have better rules. Yeah.
that's just, yeah, that's called crunch, right? That's the crunch of
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
rules. But
Yeah.
when,
Meaning the more crunch you have,
yeah,
the easier it is to abuse it. Yeah.
these little nuances creep into the game as you do add stuff. That's true. But we decided to allow Dark Elves, not to allow
Yeah.
Moose. A lot of people did, and that's so. What my whole dry tribe is to say, Arcana unintentionally took the allure away
Hmm.
from Dark Elves with
Yeah.
all this. Well, they're just another player character race now. That's just
Yeah.
my opinion. And
Oh
I
yeah.
liked them as mysterious. I liked them as, man, they're badass, and
Yeah.
I don't want to get caught with near a dark elf priestess of the elder
Hmm.
elemental god with a
Yeah.
freaking major tentacle rod, right?
Yeah, but when you make them play a character material, then you take the mystery away because
that's
then
it.
you have to explain to the
Yeah.
players. The players need they know how it works then, both mechanically and thematically. So if you want something mysterious, don't let them be player characters.
Well, yeah, it's a little
Yeah.
that ship has sailed. So
Exactly, but it once you played against them, then you can. I would run the game first where I introduce them as enemies,
we
and
did, yeah.
then you can move on from there, so to
Like I
speak.
said, there's not many. We have about 10.
Yeah,
That's it. And 40,
yeah.
and that's considering if we average for my
Hmm.
players 70 PCs over that time, we're
Yeah.
looking at, roughly counting all the extra players, we're looking at about 500 player characters.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And
in that
10
time
of
frame,
them go.
Dennis. I
Yeah.
mean, of all the people coming in and out. So
Yeah.
Hmm.
I tell Ginsey
So
machines after reading.
I've
Okay.
I've never added up all of the player characters we've had. We've not had anywhere near that many, but we've had probably at least that many Drow player characters over that same time
Hmm.
from a much smaller number of total PCs. But I've run an Underdark campaign, so I mean,
Yeah.
where half of the party
Yeah.
was Drow of some combination. So yeah.
And I've always said this about during this era, that I'm glad we kind of got a little bit of sanity back, because, and I'm not bashing Ari Salvatore, but I am. the world of dark elves, they were all super dark elves, right? They were all Drizzits. They're all Artemis and Trary. Even though he's a human, run around, and Zachnafine and the head of Scarabray, whatever that was. What's his name? They're all super jumped up
Well,
at that point.
if you're writing epic
Yep.
stories, you need epic characters in those epic stories, right? So
True.
hence Drizzt is born.
True. But that gave the allure more of like dark elves are superior in every way over elves and over all the other. And I've always been trying to
Except
get back.
in the sunshine.
Except in the sunshine. True.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get back to the standard dark elf fighter from the Male Fighter Society in D3. That was the weapon and buckler. That's what they fought with. Most of them,
Right.
they fought with addles, and they had hand crossbows, or maybe, and they had a long sword and a buckler, and that was their fighting style. And trying to get back there, saying there's some special higher level characters that were fighting dual wield, but they weren't all dual wield crazy, And I think that's where kind of saturated the dark elf. People started getting sour on them. So I babbled too much on this, but just
No,
to
but
say,
it's
yeah. So it's 85 is when this happens. After Cana comes, with the Drizzt book starting coming out, Men's of Baronson comes out. They had to have their own setting for Dark Elves Forgotten Realms. I have no problem with it, but it's like they're on crack compared to El Rohai Sinlu.
Yeah, but I think it's cool that it's there because I love to steal things back, so to speak. You don't steal it whole, but you can cherry pick cool stuff from.
I have to admit, I've never read any of Salvatore's books. I've never read
the
any
first
of the novels.
three.
The
I
first
read
three
them
are
when
good
they
when
came
he's in-
out,
when he's in the
and I
Underdark.
liked them to a large
And the
degree.
Crystal Shard. Crystal Shard
Yeah.
series is good too.
Mhm.
So the first 6 books are good.
Yeah.
So, but
I like the
once
depiction of the. Oh, sorry.
no, go ahead, Anna. Go ahead.
I was going to say I like Rob's Salvatore's depiction of the culture and the intrigue and stuff of Drow society. I really like that take. That to me was good. He gave them flavor and depth, and to me that was really cool.
So yeah, my point, Troy, is I've been fighting back there to get there since 85 because there's always, how I like to complain about my players. Love them all. But Tim, Alan, they're going to if I give them a little opening, they're going to here. Right? So they're going to take advantage of that a little bit.
Yep.
And so these dual wielding Cavaliers start showing up, and at higher, they get 9 attacks every 2 rounds.
Yeah,
They're specialized in
then you need
Profane.
to tweak your rule system.
And that's what
you
we
should
did.
limit. Yeah, you need to
That's what we
limit
did.
you need to put like a cap on it. So
Yeah, the other point I'm trying to make, Troy, is we all grow as DMs and learn from our mistakes.
mhm.
And I learned back then how I have to balance this game or it's going to go off the rails, like 3rd edition, right? We've all seen that happen in these games, like where monsters have armor class 50, right? Crazy stuff. Like Dennis and I have never left 1E, 2E for reasons specific.
I was going to say I've never had to experience 3E crazy because I've never played 3E.
Yeah,
I steal from 3E books all the time.
I do too. Yeah.
But 3 was fantastic. I love the flavor, meaning there was so much depth and flavor.
I'll be right back. I need water. Okay, I'll be right back with it.
So 3 was a dual sword. In the beginning, I just loved it, and I now afterwards, when I played for like 15 years of a little bit over 15 years of 3rd edition plus Pathfinder 1. It's to me that's all that same game, just different.
Well, yeah, I mean
different
Pathfinder
edition.
1 is basically
yeah.
3E, right?
Yeah. So for me, afterwards, when I see it in retrospect, I love the depth. I still do. When it comes to flavor and depth, it's still, in my opinion, the best edition of D&D ever. But when it comes to it's too crunchy, too much math, and it takes forever. So and that's why I want to do now with my house rules. I keep the flavor and strip down the math. So I simplify
okay.
the crunch and keep the flavor. That's my goal, so to speak. I want to have a 5e with even more streamlined math than 5e, slightly more streamlined, but keep the flavor, so to speak. That's that's my goal, because I loved a lot of the stuff that possibilities, but all the feats that made all these mechanical combinations, meaning there were hundreds and hundreds of feet, making it for like millions of combinations. There were so many ways you could break the rules that it was simply impossible so you just ended up making it difficult for difficult sake.
Right.
Okay. It's intermittent
Yeah.
fasting.
Yeah.
I'm so
So
thirsty. I brought 2 whole water bottles up.
Yep.
Oh my
Starting to
gosh.
get there. So yeah.
So sorry,
I
I'm
may
all.
have to go for water later. Right now,
Yeah.
I'm working on this.
Yes. That'll do it. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
I went off on a tangent. Point
No,
I'm
no,
trying
no.
to make
That
is
was good. I continued the tangent
good.
by basically saying that third edition, way too much crunch and awesome flavor. That's my sum up of the third edition era, so to speak.
But
And yeah,
but one of the like Necromancer games, great stuff. Relics and Rituals. Found out Alan Grohe wrote for him all those Shadow Match. Great stuff. Feats are a great idea. I mean, there's some
yeah.
great ideas for third edition,
Oh yeah,
but the whole system
exactly.
itself went haywire.
It's way too crunchy.
Yeah.
Yep,
So
for me. Yep.
we get to this point where I still love the Underdark, and it's all about balance, and it's all about having fun with the game, and we just got to figure out where to go from there. And then at the end of second edition, you get this gem,
Yes.
Yep.
and this is way longer than the D series.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah,
It was an early adventure path before they were even called adventure path.
yeah. This is what year is this? 95.
I mean, the adventure itself is broken up into 3 books, and each book
Yeah.
is bigger than any regular module that was ever published back then.
Yeah, it is.
So was this originally written to be set in Greyhawk and then they forgot to add the logo, or was it just generic and then shoehorned in? I'm not really sure which direction that came to be.
My feeling was that when they asked Carl Sargent to write it, I think they meant it to be able to be plugged into anything. At that point, they knew they didn't want to stick something specific, like something that was going to be stuck in a particular game world.
Yeah, so Carl Sargent's work on Greyhawk was mainly done when he did this.
I think so.
They're from the Ashes and all that era of the Marklands, and
whether Carl mentally imagined it as Greyhawk originally, I like to think so, but we have no idea what
it
was going on.
The product wasn't seemed to be designed or meant.
I don't think it was.
Specific.
No, I don't think it was. And I think there's a couple of pages or a page in there that describe different places where you could put it in different worlds, I think.
Yeah.
Suggestions. But I mean, the map itself does. I managed to find a place that it would fit when I placed
we're going to show that.
But the map itself isn't specific to a campaign. He didn't slice that out of a campaign world map that existed.
All right, so let's start going here and going to this gem. Greyhawk.
I think my box is mostly empty.
Underdark, because you were using stuff in it. Yeah,
Greyhawk's
Underdark.
Because I actually was running a camp. I have a campaign that it's running in this now, but it got stuck
in this
about a year ago. And so we haven't gone anywhere with it. So the actual books are sitting in the bookshelf there somewhere.
So for all of you who did not catch the Malden tribute, 20-year tribute adventure,
how could anybody have missed that?
That was awesome. We have a lot of new viewers. Look at all these locations documented on this project, and we'll get to this. Like, wow! Besides the one that are actually encounters, right? That are actually in the books, but like, this is an entire. It's called the Underdark Encyclopedia Subterranica Index Map, right? It's from Dragon's Foot, mapping the depths of the earth. So, and if we click on this collaborative, is that right? Yeah, and this is just from the forums on Dragon's
Foot. That
Foot.
takes it to the original forum thread where it was begun. And if you look at the very first post, like what year is that?
2006.
Yeah, it's been around for a long time.
Oh, that's not that long. compared to everything,
2006.
compared to
Well,
everything else.
I thought it was older than that.
It could be.
When
That
did
was
it?
when that post was. No, it says kicked off by Gnarly Bones in July
Oh, okay.
2006.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
2006 then.
So, but from that, and you got Greyhawk's, you got the main page of Malden here. You're going to come down to Greyhawk Underdark here, and that's where you
Yeah.
can get onto everything.
Yep.
Yeah, the Dragons for Collaborative Project, and you're on the ancient city of Kor, which is on. Let's see, at 02P2. So
It's a 6 hex square that's kind of um
02P2.
let me see, a little bit
Here it is. Here
higher
it is.
there.
Here it is.
Yeah.
There it is, right here. Yep. So he's got that. Could change faster than Dungeon Cloud. Well, that's a
Is
good.
that it or is it the other?
No, that's it. 02P2. That's it. That's the only one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right here. 2325. So, yep, that's it. 2325 underground passages. Yep. Ta-da! There we go. You got your connection to that. So,
Yeah.
here we go. All right, so Dennis, why don't you explain this? Is this where the good dark elves are coming from, or the renegades?
Oh,
Or?
this was the city of Kor is the bottom left hand kind of corner there, the little kind of hex shaped sub cavern.
Okay, to here.
Yeah. So that's where the city is.
Okay.
And so I designed it as an independent city of the Underdark. So
Wow. Okay,
I wanted a city that wasn't controlled by the Drow. So I didn't want to start a campaign in Errol High Kinlu.
Okay.
All right. So as an independent city, it then can have inhabitants from all races. Right. So and yeah, so I've positioned it as a kind of a neutral trading center. So it's kind of like the city of Greyhawk for the Underdark.
Oh, okay.
Although it's nowhere near as big. It's nowhere near as big as the city of Greyhawk. The city itself, city itself is fairly big as far as buildings are concerned. And I never did a building level map. That's a view
I
looking
love that
towards
picture.
yeah.
That's a great picture.
And so there's a wall, the Great Wall is at the very back of that picture there, where the road leads up to. Yeah, the Forest of Stone is something else. They're like giant stalactites on the left, but in the kind of the far back of the cave there is a wall that was built by the original creators of the city, which were Gesera.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
And so there was so in if you read the ancient history of Kor that I have, there was a coalition of illicits and Githyanki who came to wipe out the Gesera city because they didn't want the Gesera getting a big foothold on the Prime.
Okay.
So they wipe them out and the city becomes abandoned. And so Underdark residents then start populating the abandoned city.
Here it says just over 25 years ago, Drow, half orcs, led by a half Drow adventurer from Rural High Sinlu, Joran Kassar. Triple class. I love it. Fighter Mage Thief.
Yeah.
Yes. Just out of my own. Yes. Gotta love it. Oh, that's cool.
And they started basically wrestling the city into civilization, kind of. There are large parts of the city that are uninhabitable because of it's never been cleared. It's been there are a lot of wild Underdark creatures there, but there are also a lot of undead from that old war.
That's cool, man.
In there. So it's a city with a oversupply of buildings, and so if you want to come to the city of Core and just squat on a building, it's yours. You can just move in, right? And so over the years since Jaron has kind of uh, gotten control of part of the city, people have started settling. And as a free city, then they can trade with anybody. So there are trade routes from here to other locations like Errolhai Kinlu, right?
So
And
they're not
so
at war with them.
they're not at war with them,
Okay.
but because the Underdark is a place of conflict and suspicion, and um, a lot of different power groups have spies in the city. So there are spies from the Female Fighter Society here in Core, from the vault. There are people from various there were Lolthians here as well, and right. So there are different groups, but there's also representatives from from Durgar, for example, from the Durgar cities and
Okay.
stuff like that, right? Like there's um and Joron's group of mercenaries kind of they're busy just keeping the place neutral by not letting any particular group get an upper hand, right?
So I like the population mix. 800 drow, 1,000 half drow. So
They have no other place to go
yeah.
because they're kind of poo-pooed in Errolhai Kinlu,
Well,
right? They're lower
even
class citizens.
and even worse are the elf drow. Those
Oh God,
mixes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, oof.
Cross between a
I
surface
can
elf and
smell them from here.
250 half orcs, 500 Daragar and Darrow, 700 humans, 800 slaves, still slaves as opposed to former slaves, can do all listed races plus others, troglodytes. And nearly 500 less common. Listen to this: outer planers, nerf deadly, intelligent
Yeah.
undead, lycanthropes, illithids, trolls, ogres, Coatoans, Gith, and much more. Love it.
It's the Underdark melting pot.
Wow. So
And so that's where I started my Underdark campaign based there. So these were characters that were born and raised in Core,
wow.
or had traveled there. A couple of them were Drow that had originally come from Errolhai Kenlu, and for whatever each of them had their own reasons for leaving that the players could tweak to their own PC background, right? There are people that left Errolhai Kenlu to come, and they get hired to the beginning of the campaign was they get hired to try to trailblaze a new trading route to Errolhai Kenlu, because where you see that straight drilled corridor there at number 3,
yeah, yeah,
that is controlled by a merchant group, and they charge a lot to use that tunnel
because
because
that's a shortcut.
it's a shortcut. They created it magically, and there's a hefty
Walls,
fee
pass walls,
for using it.
permanents. Yeah.
So the adventuring group was hired to find an alternate route,
Nice.
and that's what they were doing when the campaign started. And
nice.
They managed to get to Errolhai Kinlu, finding a new route. They found a new route, and then unfortunately the campaign kind of stalled at that point and didn't continue on. But
I love it though. So
yeah,
and you all can utilize it off of Dennis's site because he's got it all set right here. And if you have a D1, 2, and 3, you're good. And there,
yeah,
just add it on.
absolutely.
Here's Vault of the Drow here.
Yep.
And there's core right there, and that's what
yep.
So it is usable, along with a lot of other locations set here. So
Hey Gary, how's it going?
yeah, Gary was on
Hello.
fire last week. If you watched any last week,
Yes,
yeah,
it
he
would
was
be
on a
awesome.
roll, and
Yep.
we really appreciate that. So, okay. You look at this and you may say, my head is going to explode, like all the colors, and hopefully it doesn't, strobe lights don't go off. But that's not the case. This thing has really got a great connectivity to it. If you look at this,
Did you ever figure out how to turn off and on the layers?
No, I've never even made an attempt, Dennis. No.
Okay.
But you can. You can.
Oh
I
yeah,
can't.
you
I
can
can't
turn
do
off
it off.
all the layers.
Yeah, I can't do
You
it
have
off.
to open it. You have to open it in a native
Oh, okay.
PDF viewer, not in the browser viewer.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool. So
But you can turn off all the layers to see each separate layer. But right next to the word hell furnaces, you'll see a pink and
yeah,
purple branchy area. So that is the map that you're just looking at. That's
Vault of
the
Israel map.
D3 index map is there. That's how big that is.
So that's level 2. What's on level 1? The purple. Is this the G or D1?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. That's the beginning of D1. That's
Okay,
the
and then what
beginning of
about
D1.
all this over the tours and all this other purple?
Well, those then come in to not the U numbered levels, but the numbered levels. Those are all things that come from
Hey, John.
where I placed the Dungeoneer's Survival Guide locations. Right.
Oh, okay.
And so
Oh,
everything that's in the Dungeon Survival Guide, all of those locations are here. They're placed here as part of the Greyhawk Underdark. And so
Brilliant.
the let
okay.
me pull up my own version of the map here.
So that's an. Oh,
Then
wow.
the descriptions for all of those locations are below the map on the web page, the map key. So I've got kind of shortened descriptions that are based on the descriptions from the Dungeoneer's Survival Guide.
Wow. Okay, so you have those added in,
Yeah.
and then I believe you have the everything else
Yeah,
is just
that
level.
there. Yeah, the tunnels under the word Hool. Yes, that stretch there. That's the Night Below.
That's the
That's the map
beginning
from the
of
Night
Night
Below.
Below, correct?
Well, that's all of the Night
Oh,
Below.
right here's all of Night Below.
Yeah, because it extends down to the yellow, and the yellow is where the payoff is.
Right,
I don't know if we want to give it away for people.
That's okay.
What's there, but that's okay. Well, that's the city where people ultimately end in that campaign.
All right. So then, what is all this up here in the yeomanry? What?
Well, that's all a Dungeoneer's Survival Guide
all
locations.
this is
all of that.
Oh my
all
gosh!
Of that.
I didn't even
Yeah.
realize that. Holy
Yeah.
jeez.
No, it's big. The Dungeoneer's Survival Guide is really a entire environment. It's
Wow.
huge. Yeah. No, all of that. The U levels and the ones 1A through D, whatever.
Right.
The ones are the Drow and Giant series.
Right.
2A through whatever E is Night Below.
Right.
The U's, there's some U's underneath, just under the Tors, to the left of the Tors, and then north of that. I forget the name of the mountain, the hills there.
Little Hills.
Little Hills, yeah.
Yep.
Those are locations that I added myself because I wanted upper level caverns in those hilly areas. And I make suggestions for what's there. I make suggestions for those areas, such as the Kingdom of the Ghouls from Wolfgang Bauer.
There you go, because someone just asked that. Someone just asked where that is, and that was who asked that question.
A
BB fan fun. Where's Dorsane's Kingdom of the Ghouls?
Put it in. I think maybe you too. I think I can't remember exactly where I placed that. Yeah.
Yes, Curtis. 1E Dungeoneer's Survival Guide. Yep. Let me see if I can bring that up.
There it is, right there.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'll bring that up. There we go.
It's a highly underrated book.
Doug Niles. I gotta get Doug on. I really gotta get Doug on.
And Dennis, I'm going to add. I didn't add the Little Hills to my map, so they're coming in the next update.
Page 7.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
So thank you. Yep.
Overview of the Underdark.
So I added them to my to-do list. So thank you, Dennis. Yep.
Cool.
There's a cave example.
Unless
Yeah,
there
so the
are
first
some
half
little
of
hills somewhere else. I'm not sure. Yeah.
sorry, what was that?
If there's some little hills somewhere else, I have to check that. So yeah.
Yeah.
But I
I
don't
don't
think so.
so.
No, exactly. I don't think
That's
so.
the little hills from the map of the Darlene map.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. I
Oh,
didn't
hang
name
on a
those.
second. They are there. So yep, I
Yeah,
have
yeah.
them on the map. So
I would
can,
have been surprised if
yeah.
you
Oh
didn't
yeah,
have it.
I got them. I
Yeah,
was
yeah. No,
too
they're
stupid.
from.
Yep.
I didn't name them. They're from the Darlene
Mhm.
map. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. So,
Yeah.
So
So the first half of the book is a lot of environment rules and items and lore and stuff. The setting that I use is the second half of the book.
okay. I have this book and I barely have opened it. Look at that.
New equipment,
Yeah,
play
I'm just going all the way
rules.
through. Here, is this it? The Dungeon Master section?
Yep.
All right. There. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Holy jeez. Here we go. Lands of Deep Earth.
Yep.
Page 75. Oh, wow. You had to. Oh, man. That gives me a headache just looking at it. Holy jeez.
Well, you have to tip it sideways in
Yes.
order to get less of a
So
headache.
you took this whole thing and
Yes.
turned it. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Look at those. Oh, my gosh.
You'll recognize the shapes. You'll
Yeah.
recognize
Holy
the shape.
jeez.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Can I
I
say you're
placed it-
crazy?
No, those are those are
Crazy like a fox.
Oh, my gosh,
yeah, but
Dennis.
they are
wow.
fantastic. Yeah, but those
Look
I
at
must give hats off.
Right here.
The maps from Dungeoneers are fantastic. They are still an example to now. You should probably do a little bit more color and stuff, but they are still fantastic way of
Oh, my
doing it.
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is
I have
huge.
to turn sideways to see it. Well,
Yeah.
actually, I should just pull it up on my book here.
Yeah.
Wow.
There
I
we
should
go.
I look at all
put
the
a
different
screenshot in
levels
there,
and
so-
layers. You're
So
right.
here's the right way view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you added that all in, and this was just a neutrally placed Underdark.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't meant to be anywhere in specific.
Patrick just said he Canadian crazy. That's nice, Patrick. That was really
Yeah.
nice.
Thanks,
yeah.
fellow Canadian.
Wow. So, were you doing adventuring in this area as well? In that, because it was like it would have been new to them, and they'd be like, "Oh, wow, this is great." You know, I was just out of curiosity.
Well, my Underdark campaign was meant to get wider, and it never did. So I've personally not had any characters exploring all those new areas.
Right. But that's pretty
but
amazing.
that wasn't really the purpose of making the page. It was I wanted to do it because I'm a fan of the idea of large Underdark areas being kind of like continents that you would equivalent to the surface world, right? And so there are different ideas, and Dungeoneer Survival Guide talks about the ideas, the different theories of the Underdark. So you have like the Swiss cheese theory, and you have the independent pools theory, and so mine is kind of in between, where you've got large areas that are very interconnected, connected to other large areas by very few long tunnels. So this is the area that's underneath the Sheldamar Valley, but there's going to be an area of the Underdark, say under the Sea of Dust, under the Eastern Flanness as well, and you can theoretically, it would take you forever, but you could probably walk from one end of the Flanness to the other if you could find the connecting tunnels, right?
So it's I mean, the length of this is not.
You probably have to
nothing
swim
to
too.
sneeze at.
Part of the
So, did anyone? All right, this is just a weird connection here. I think of the vast distances. Did anyone ever see the? I don't want to get political here, but anyone ever see the Newman movie when it's in World War II and they're all emigrating over to Palestine, right? You know what I'm saying? And like they get there and like the father, they go, how
I
did you?
haven't seen that movie, but I read the book.
Yeah,
I
if it's
think
like
that
it was like in 1960, and they asked the one guy who's like the matriarch of the whole thing. He goes, how did you ever get here in like 1910 or whatever? He goes, from Russia. I walked.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking to myself, what's that, 4,000 miles? So who knows how long it took? I'm thinking to myself, that's the kind of feel I get when I get on the, the in the size and scope of all this, that Dennis has added. I'm not sure if anyone has the foresight, because Alron asked, Dennis, how'd you know how to place it there? And you go, well, you thought it made sense. You interconnected all of them, yeah, which is really, really cool. So. Yeah, which is awesome. It's not Exodus. It's the one where they're on the ship to start. They're on the ship and they're and they're fighting against basically the British in that early time in like 48,
Well, it
46
was a
to
British
48.
mandate
Yeah, 46 to
until
48.
48.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's a Newman movie.
The Haganah. Yep.
Was that what it was? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
the group were called the Haganah. They killed the Swedish crown prince.
right.
There was a big scandal in for years, for decades, between Israel and Young State, because he was there as trying to make peace between the Israelis, the British, and the Palestinians, and the Israelis killed him.
Sorry to bring up some politics
Oh,
here, but I
sorry,
just
yeah,
remember
I'm
the
sorry,
guy
I shouldn't-
said
yeah,
from
it
Russia.
was
He's like,
part of
I
it,
walked here. I was like,
Mhm.
holy
Oh yeah,
jeez.
yeah. Mhm. That's now part of history. So
It's
to
like
speak.
Forrest Gump running back and forth,
Mhm.
and there's actually a map showing
Yeah.
the route he took.
Mhm. Well,
Like
remember they
back
did
and forth.
pilgrimage
Yeah.
from one end of the world
Holy
to the other,
jeez.
and people still do. They walk enormous distances to get to Compostela in Spain and other
But
places.
and that's the thought I get when I see all this is like,
Yeah.
man, this is just
But
because
you probably have to swim as well, because large part of the Underdark is probably flooded because it's below sea level and stuff in areas. So a lot of it is, I'm sure that is a lot like caves in the real world. A lot of them are flooded.
Well,
So if you can have gills or can breathe underwater and swim, you can probably even easier get access to other parts.
the yellow area at the end of the Night Below
you got some yellow
series
here
there.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, not that that one, number 2E. So that's the Sunless Sea. So that's a gigantic cavern that's half filled with water, right?
Mm-hmm.
The green, which is a layer below that huge big area is the largest. It's all under the deepest, darkest undersea part of my Underdark, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
I mean, you have in Mexico, Yucatan Peninsula and stuff, you have the cenotes and they're connected under, meaning there are several examples of especially flooded caves that are huge cave systems, because water has a tendency of hollowing out caves more than air does, so to speak. So that there's that precedent that water that flows under between in mountains carves out caves. Then sometimes mountains raise up and then the caves are still there, but a lot of them are made by water way more than other stuff, so to speak.
So a big question in the audience, Dennis, and I know it's not your cup of tea because, well, maybe it may be, maybe you like it. Is does the Underdark stretch down to Sasserine and Cauldron, right? Because
mountains probably has, and especially like volcanic mountains probably has lots of
if DMs want it to, it can.
Yeah, if you have a fire resistance or fire immunity, you can go through the lava and stuff. That's probably cool. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That doesn't sound like
meaning that there's cool possibilities, but you need to spice it up a bit here and there. So yeah.
True.
But right now, I have enough for my players to explore for the next 200 years.
For a lifetime. Right?
Yeah, it's probably easier to fly to the other end or walk.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Well, I mean, if you've got drow cities that are widely separated, it's not really realistic to travel on foot. Yeah, there are trade routes because you're trading along the way, but to get from one major city to another, the only way to do it really is gates, right? Like magical gates, right? And so it's going to be easier to hire a high-level wizard to create a magical portal than to mount an expedition that's got to travel 1,000 kilometers through winding tunnels. It's
So let's hop back to the beginning on the D series, and I guess you guys expanded from that project on the imagination beyond what was on the sliver of the map that was covered, which I always,
Right.
as a kid, I was always like, I'm in wonderment on what that is. Um, what are your thoughts, Dennis? And we're talking pure Greyhawk here, and Anna too, if you want to comment on this, on the whole way the G series is tied into the Dark Elves. What?
Well, it was they were the big baddies. Well, ultimately it's Lulz, right? The big baddie is, and in any
Yeah, but it
adventure
wasn't.
series, because the series wasn't created as an environment; it was created as an adventure.
Right.
And so the big baddie is Lulz and the drow that follow her. So it makes sense for the focus of all of that to be drow. Um, when Sargent wanted to create an Underdark, there are no drow in Underdark or in Night
Night
Below.
Below.
And he did that on purpose. He wanted
It's
an
pretty
adventure
amazing.
series
Mhm.
that didn't use drow because drow had been used already. He wanted to do
Right.
something new, something original, right?
Yeah, and it was also a heavy Forgotten Realms. It was kind of it didn't want to.
Yeah, yes, and with
Yeah,
Menza Bronson and
yeah,
all.
exactly. He
Yeah,
didn't
I
want
mean
to.
they'd beaten the drow horse to death,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and so they wanted something new, something different. Um, and that's great. Um,
Yeah.
the map that we have just happens to be, if you if you want to put yourself in kind of the meta, um, happens to be an area that's controlled by drow. So when you climb the ladder of bad guys, um, then drow's at the top of the ladder for that particular spot. Move
Mm-hmm.
somewhere else, another part of the Underdark, and there are other places. When you look at the different areas of um, the uh, Dungeoneer Survival Guide maps, and that there's some areas there that are illicit dominated or elemental dominated,
Right.
and right there are all sorts of, most of those caves in the bigger map that I have there are not drow. They're not. Um,
All right. So in your caves, most of them here are not drow. So okay, we go to that.
so it depends on where you are and where your characters start. Um, well, where the TM wants them to start. Right.
So let me see. Is this hyperlinked? No, it's not. All right, but I know that on your site,
On the
it's
site, it's
it's
hyperlinked. Yeah.
hyperlinked. So if I go to, sorry about that. Okay. So if we go here, we go to
Well,
X.
only if there's actually
Oh, okay.
well, you're already on the core map, but
Oh, I'm on core. I
um,
got to go back. Duh.
yeah,
All right. There we go.
right.
Let's see. Maybe not.
Because not all of them have
Oh, here they
have
are. Here they are.
attached. Yeah,
All right.
not all of them have attached
Okay.
adventures.
Well, I'm just
Right.
looking at like XA2, just the big ones. I was curious on some of them. XA2, the Forsaken City of Navros, Elder
Actually, you know what?
Sphinx. Yeah.
I was looking at I was thinking about tonight.
Hmm.
2 nights ago, I went back and I was looking at my stuff for all of this, and that was one of them that I looked at. So Elder Sphinx's adventure, um, that's actually a pretty big section, but the thing is that he never created a map for it.
Okay.
Um, but the write up for it is um,
Cool.
pretty big. Now, maybe what I should do is put the write up for it
Huh.
without the map, but ideally I should
Oh,
probably
so
try
you're
to
not.
get a hold of Elder Sphinx and find out if he's ever created a map for it. I have all of the original files when this was being created and worked
Wow.
on by the crew. So but the problem is that almost
See
everything
you,
that's
Michael.
not posted yet is incomplete.
Right.
Um,
Okay. But
there's
it's a lot of work.
Oh no, it is, and it's a lot of people that contributed to it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So yeah.
I don't think I can actually
So
access it
let's go
from
here. Let's just try one of
this
these. I'm going to
computer.
go to one of these small ones. So we're going to go here. This little one right here, R9. We're
All
going to
right.
go here, and we're going to go because I saw it looks pretty cool. Where we're at's Warren. And let's see. Oh, look at that. There you go. That's a map. That's one of the maps I think that came with is one of the possible maps, right? They remember they
No,
had
no,
no.
that was created by whoever
Oh, okay.
created this adventure. It's an original map,
All right, cool.
and so it's a short adventure.
Yeah,
Or location. I don't know if you can call these adventures. They're location descriptions, right?
yeah. That's still pretty neat.
Yeah.
You know, that someone has done that. So cool. Where at's Warren by Elder Sphinx, area R9. Nice.
Yeah, he did a bunch of them. Elder Sphinx did a bunch of
Yeah.
them.
Hey, Phoenixy.
Um,
Good to see you.
Hello.
So, as this gets built and you have Night Below, which did you run Night Below, Dennis?
I'm halfway through it,
Oh, you're still running
Ooh.
it.
and then the group we haven't met in a year, so it's one of my several in limbo
Oh,
Well, we
campaigns.
all been there, and we will be there
Yeah.
again.
what
Yeah.
level are the characters?
Right now they're about
Okay.
sixth-ish, fifth or
Well,
sixth, I think.
I hope for your sake you guys get back together and continue to run it.
I hope so too.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you got on the cover, you got an aboleth in the background with an illithid, a Coatoan, and a Darrow. It looks like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So a Nightblow and Underdark campaign. I've
Yeah,
never run
well,
it.
I mean, the Aboleth are the final big
Yeah.
baddies. They're the end game.
This thing has 364-page books in it.
Yep.
8
And
page.
a bunch of cards, adventure cards,
Yeah.
Yeah.
6 full color poster maps detailing all the important
and the
locations.
maps.
8
Yep, the
page booklet
maps.
of new Monsters Companion entries. This is the second edition. Wow. That's really cool.
Yeah.
One of the last box sets I've got my hands on. It's Greyhawk. Well, that can be used in Greyhawk.
Yeah.
Got my hands on a couple others. Couple recent old Troller Games ones I found. So all right. What, Dennis and Anna, do you see as I know you got so much going on with this and it's great. What is like something that I always loved the for me it was the conflict between the dark elves themselves. You have the Elder Elemental God dark elves with the tentacle rods and Calavdra and stuff, and then you have the Loft Dark Elves fighting each other. I always loved that. What aspect of the of the Underdark do you like? I want to elaborate on. I want to continue to expand on, or wow, I want to make the change. This, you know what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to say is like your theme for Dark Elf for adventuring in the Underdark.
For adventuring
Yeah,
forward.
like it sounds like yours is around core, right? So
Well, it
yeah,
was the hub of the Underdark campaign. Yeah.
so
Um,
was the theme just to keep that place alive, or keep it like functioning as an independent state, or you know?
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Well, I'm not at the time. I don't think I really had a big picture idea for it. Um, so it never really developed too far. Not like my main campaign thread. Um, but yeah, I mean, certainly that was a spot that I wanted to use to have them go out exploring, and then ultimately it
okay,
was to once they trailblazed the path to Arrow High Kinlu, I was going to have them start trailblazing pathways to the greater map that you see with the
yeah.
um, under the Sheldamar Valley there, and
So
heading out to the sunken sea and that sort of thing.
So Anna, what about you on this?
I love the setting, the Underdark as a theme, so to speak. Meaning you can introduce whole different monsters, you can have different cultures, and it's another aspect that I love is that you can have it close to the surface. Meaning you can have the surface, and then a mile down or a few thousand feet down, you can have a completely different culture and a different environment. So it's a frontier that instead of going to another plane, you can have it next door, but it can be completely different. And that
Yeah.
aspect is really cool. You can build it in and say, well, down there, so to speak, all of a sudden. So and it also ties into fantasy, all the standard tropes of fantasy in a cool way, so to speak. And of course you can have spiders and others nasty stuff in there that is super cool, and different cultures and stuff. So I cannot like it both as a theme, mechanical. It's a lot of challenges and stuff, but also the accessibility. You can make it literally next door. You can have a basement, a sub basement under the castle, and then all of a sudden you're down there, so to speak.
Yeah.
You can make
And
small versions of. They can come in any size, from a little secret room sub basement to the whole world, so to speak.
And I'm
And
gonna elaborate on where I've done that.
mhm.
Also, but I love this. I want to share this. I know we talked about this in your 20th. This
Yeah,
boxed area right here, just that little area of the city, is this area here that Dennis did,
Yep.
which is
yeah.
really cool.
Hmm.
So
I
if
always
you,
wonder, why do they build houses though? Why didn't
Yeah,
you
we
just
talked
carve
about
it?
this the
yeah,
last
yeah,
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
Yeah.
meaning, come on, why don't you just carve into the cave? Meaning,
Yeah.
to me, it seems ridiculous. That's like going across the river for water. Meaning, come on, you don't need to. So that's a saying we have in Swedish, is that you go across the
yeah,
river for water.
Yeah. Well,
That's kind of,
one of the
yeah.
things is, I think, unless you have access to reasonably high level, and you have to remember, Joe average Underdark personage is a zero, equivalent to a zero level commoner, right?
right,
Um, unless you've got access to spells that can hollow out a lot, like rock to
That's
mud
true.
or
Oh, yeah.
disintegration, and that it's easier to build a building than to dig
yeah, true.
through solid
That's true.
rock an
Yeah.
equivalent volume
But I
of living
assume that you
space.
have some sort of capability. Otherwise, you wouldn't live there down there in the first place, unless
Well,
Maybe.
you're one of these that kind of
Well,
go
drow
down
aren't
into
very good. Their fingernails are not very good at digging.
no, but they probably have magical means to do it. But I agree. But then you solicit animal help. But I agree. It's like birds that can't dig. They live in holes in trees, but they can't dig them.
Right.
They rely on woodpeckers and others to do
Well,
it. But
woodpeckers are the Umber Hulk of the bird world.
Exactly. I was going to say woodpecker, umber hulks probably have the same role. So
Yeah.
even if the other races hate umber hulks in the way, they probably, I don't think the Underdark races kills umber hulks. They probably leave them
Probably not.
alone. Yeah, because they are probably so useful. So even if they can't be tamed, domesticated, at least
yeah.
when they chew through things, it adds to their living space. But it can also be a problem if they come and makes an opening to the enemies down the cave, so to speak, or something. But yeah,
Here's another add-on for this, and here we go. It's by Joe Block.
Aha.
yes, he done a lot of cool stuff. Yeah,
So this is D4, the City of Spiders. So, and he has, as we can scroll through here and just show some of that, he's got the same kind of feel and encounter tables that Gary Gygax made in his. So I think there's some really good maps coming up here. Priests of Grazit's in here, Anna, right up your alley.
yeah.
So yeah, he's got a lot of the Sears estate is detailed. So he's gone into a lot more detail as to the questions like, well, how can the Sears be the most powerful? I want to know more about their location. Well, Joe does it in this publication. I think it's a free download too. So let me see if I can get to the end there. There's a sermon. Here we go. Yeah. So showing you some of his locations here, and then that's disgusting. That's really gross. Yeah. First servant of the eye. That's an elder elemental guide, abomination, if I recall. So yeah, neat stuff by Joe. Um, you know, and so he doesn't go deep into the blow up of here, but he shows where the, like, he calls them ghettos, ghetto the dead. Ugh. I don't think I want to go in that section. But yeah, he did a nice job here as well, advancing things. And yeah, I think Joe will be at Page as well this year, Anna. So I should say next year it'll be in 25 that we
Yep.
have Page. But yeah,
He's
so
it.
Joe's does a lot of
I hope so.
good content as well. And you just need
Yep.
to know where to find his stuff.
Well,
So,
he has his website,
Yep.
Greyhawk
See what year
Grognard.
this
Yep.
was. This was not that long ago.
So go there and poke
I
around,
don't even
and
think he
you'll
has the
find
date
cool
on it.
stuff.
But there you go.
Yep.
So that's at D4, is it, and it's by Joe. So wanted to share that with you all. Lots of really neat things out there, by third party. It's just wonderful. So, did your characters, Dennis, in your long time running of all this, ever make it to Q1? Go to the Abyss in Q1.
Oh yeah.
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 My
No.
adventure. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. No.
I was going to say I always end up there, so you don't need to go deep into an adventure. The Abyss is all. If you don't get to the Abyss will come to you. That's
my
my
gosh.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah, no,
that's,
the original party that ran through the GDQ series, they made it all the way to the end, and then, like they're supposed to, they killed at least the physical body of Lolth.
They
right?
did. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And so they finished it, but I ruled that, like every good demon lord, she had a phylactery or amulet that could protect her essence, even if she was physically killed. Because really, as a demon lord, she was pretty wimpy. She had like 66
I
hit
know.
points.
Oh yeah,
I
but it
bumped
was
that way up.
that 66 hit points is kind of
Yeah.
Hopefully they made it 666 in
Yeah.
the
So
following editions.
technically, is she really gone in my world? A lot of people think she is.
They just kill one aspect of her. She will be.
Yeah.
She's still around.
Yeah.
They just made her angry. Yeah.
But because in my campaign, if you deal a large enough blow to a god or godlike creature, like abyssal lords and hell, the 9 hells rulers as well. If you deal enough of a blow to them, then they're effectively banned from entering or affecting your home world. So Lolth is now blocked from. She doesn't have any power or influence in my world of Greyhawk because of that, because they took her out. And which created a vacuum, right? Which other drow gods are stepped up to try to fill, right?
I didn't want to ever go there, Dennis, because I'm always scared to death of what I'm going to do to my game. So, like, you know how in the end of Q1, end of this, she has that mirror she can jump
brave.
through.
I wanted once and for all to figure out how to make deities almost impregnable to adventurers coming to kill them. So I made a system where there's 10 divine tiers, and they're harder to kill each of them. And also I also treat my demon lords and stuff, they're gods. They have a divine tier. So meaning Asmodeus, he's like one of the most powerful beings in the multiverse, so to speak. And they are way more than a being. It's not like, it's more like killing an idea or a phenomena than to kill a being. So you can't just find him and then kill him. You have to, first he has like a number of aspects, and then you have to find his temples and his symbols. And if he's really powerful, he will hide just in, if you're scared of him. So you mean you have to kill yourself at the end because you're aware of him too. So he might hide in you, so to speak.
Right.
So gods are way more, they're like a phenomena. So that means that in order to get to them, you have to eradicate every temple, kill every cleric, and even powerful ones. That's why deities have these hidden temples hiding away somewhere, because they that's an insurance policy. Even if they are killed, if they have a bunch of believers and worshippers that sits around and have these kind of old relics and whatever, that's an insurance policy. If everything goes to hell, literally, or somewhere else, if you're in hell, then you don't want to go somewhere else. That means that you can still survive as a deity. So what I think would happen in my campaign, if you get to Lolth and kill one of her aspects and stuff, then you weaken her. And that means that her enemies in the abyss will get to her and they might be able to finish the job you can't. So that means that because as a demon lord, the most dangerous is not an adventuring party coming to kill you. It's like the adventure party come and kill some of you or disturb you enough that the neighbors will come and gang up on you. And that's
Yeah.
when you're scared. Meaning when Gerasset realized that, oh, I'm now in league with Baphomet or whatever, maybe he can have a temporary pact with Orcus to simply kill her off and then invade her whole domain with demons and stuff. That's, I think, would be the scariest thing, is that her demonic neighbors and stuff might be the scariest bit, because if they
Well, when
think
you
they
mentioned
yeah.
like fragments of
Mhm.
a creature
Yeah.
being trapped, preserved, or
Mhm.
held in
Yeah,
a,
they will,
that's
yeah.
kind of like, I don't know if you're ever a fan of the old science fiction TV series Babylon 5.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
watched it a little bit, but I can never call myself a fan of it. Or it's
so
not that I think it's bad, I just haven't seen enough of it. So
no.
yeah.
So there's a couple of the ancient races, the elder
Mhm.
races, and one of them is the Vorlons. And Kosh is a Vorlon ambassador to Babylon
Yeah.
5, was a big station. When
Mhm.
Kosh dies, he's killed by another elder race
Yeah.
creatures, but
Mhm.
a fragment of Kosh lives on in one of the main characters in the show.
Yeah. Mhm.
And
So
so
this
that's
is, yeah,
kind of,
so
so it's kind of
exactly
like
the
that.
same
And I
idea.
kind of
Mhm.
use that idea
Yeah.
when in my multiverse article
Mhm.
about the shards of the primordial
Yep,
beings
that was one
can
of
be
my
hosted
inspiration
within.
from this,
Yeah.
because I read it and that was one of my my ideas coming in, so to speak. I just quantified it and said, so
Oops.
meaning the first divine and then quasi, first you're like a hero, you become, you don't have a natural span, you don't age anymore. That's the first bit, so to speak. And then you
Okay.
can have an aspect somewhere roughly like a lich, you can have a phylactery hiding somewhere, and then you can have multiple phylacteries,
Right.
multiple aspects, and then you can hide in so many places. So when you're really
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
powerful, you're almost impossible to kill. That would be like a 1,000-year campaign, meaning Asmodeus, if he has another devil he wants to get to, he will wage 1,000-year effort to eradicate his opponent from the
Right.
multiverse. That's the kind of the scope of this, so to speak. And adventurers might be hired to do some of the dirty work unknowingly or
Of
knowingly. So,
course.
yeah.
So I just
And
don't
the
go
same thing
there.
with good to evil. So
You
the
don't
good
go
and
there.
evil, mean you have the Bahamut and Tiamat are waging a
Right.
500-year war on turf war in my
Right.
Greyhawk campaign right now, so to speak.
Well, so one of the threads that's going on in my campaign now is relates to this kind of in a way, but not kind of not great. So um, Malden and Ellenderry and their group have a real issue with Orcus is still alive in my campaign world.
Yeah.
He's the Great Modron March hasn't happened, um, but uh, but they need to, they're on a mission now to weaken him enough so that he will leave the world of Greyhawk alone.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so the idea is eventually they're going to um, stage a raid, and they have other reasons as well. Stage a raid on Orcus's home castle in his home
Ooh.
plane,
Yeah.
but they need help.
Mm-hmm.
They need a back door. So
That's
they
cool.
decided that they're going to go to one of Orcus's main rivals. You're going to find the high priest of that main rival to see if she will help them.
Who's the main rival?
So I have Kiransali,
Mm-hmm.
who's a drow god of undead
Okay.
based out of
Monster
Forgotten
mythology.
Realms.
Okay. Oh, forgotten. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah.
So what Malin and Allendale
Don't
are
say
doing
that to
right
Gary.
now is they have spell jammed. This is here's where we tie in everything together, right? They've spell jammed from Earth to Faerun, and they are currently, as we speak now, going through the 5e Underdark adventure of City of the Spider Queen to try to get to who's the big baddie in that adventure is the High Priestess of Kieransili. So they're currently fighting their way through the Underdark right now, but in my timeline, but it's Faerun's Underdark, ironically, not Greyhawk's Underdark.
That's
Uh,
okay.
and it's a pretty the book is a pretty meaty book. It's really well done, I think. And um, so yeah, so they're fighting through that to get to her, but not for the reason why the adventure was created, which is supposed to be to eliminate the Kieransili threat to
Yeah.
the surface world of Faerun. They're fighting their way through to get to her, to do a deal with her to help them, uh, which is
That's a
kind of
cool. That's a cool
twisted.
premise.
Yeah. And the
I
cool
like it.
Underdark can be kind of, you can have it a little bit more dense with demon lords
Yeah,
and that kind of, because it
yeah.
can be, you can ramp up that conflict and stuff. It can be a little bit closer and they can, so you can,
Well,
meaning you don't
the
want
final
villages
city,
wiped out.
the
Yeah.
actual city of the Spider Queen that they're in, um, that's kind of the end game of the adventure.
Yeah.
Well, the end game itself is in her special temple in this city, but the city was originally a Lolth drow city, and the Kieransili drow staged a war, and then um, this group of fire giants uh, came in, and it basically wiped out the Lothian drow out of the city, and the
Mm-hmm.
Kieransili drow have now taken over
Oh
part of
wow.
it.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And so once they're not quite there, they're almost there actually.
Yeah.
They've got to take on piles of fire giants and all of their minions to get to where she is, and then they're going to fight their way through the temple and
Mm-hmm.
get to her, and then say, oh, by the way, we're not here to kill you, actually. we're
I see a
we've
tail.
proven
Yeah.
ourselves. Yes, you got
Mm-hmm.
a tail here. We've proven ourselves as to what we're capable of. We're going to Orcus's realm,
Yeah.
Thanatos, and we kind of want your help. um,
Cool.
so yeah, it's a twist to what the adventure is supposed to be for, but
Mm-hmm.
uh,
That
but
sounds
so far it's
awesome.
been interesting.
Yeah.
So let's go this direction real quick here. Gary, Visions of Greyhawk Volume 2 has some great stuff in it. We go to page 20, but I'm going to go to page 20 real quick and then go to a better map.
Just say that I put the links to my deities article on my website, so you can download the PDF there if you want to read.
So we all know that I have a
Yeah.
love. I have a love for this so much that, as you can see, it runs from the low road, which is just great, runs
Thank you, Sam, for linking
all
that.
the way. I mean, this is long. I mean, look at the
Mm-hmm.
length of this thing.
That's several hundred miles.
Yeah,
Nice Phoenix causing chaos in a city of chaos.
Yes. What could go wrong?
I know, really.
And a lot of what I say here is and I just had the last adventure we did with Nuclear Meat was in one of these areas, and they came across Dark Elves. So there's no reason that and this is a smaller map of that whole area of the low road running through the Lort Mills. There's no reason why shouldn't there be one or two little pocket connectors to the Underdark, right? That they have found,
I'm sure there are.
or a teleporter to this spot where they come in from in the low road that they found. So yeah, isn't it? It's such a great, and it's a great article, and and I use it a lot in my campaigning. You all know how much I love it. So just so you're aware that it is for me, and it's
Cool.
right in the wheelhouse. Yeah, definitely. So once again, that's Envisions 2. So if you don't know where to get it, someone can throw a link to it out in chat on Vision.
I'm sure Gary can throw a quick link there.
Yeah, absolutely, to download that. There we go. Thank you very much, Sir Sam, for doing that. So there's some great articles in there as well. So, all right, and that's kind of like I'm saying. I'm not running it. I don't have connections. Oh, there's this dark elf realm down there, the size of Earl Lu. No, I'm not going there. I'm just saying there's pockets of them coming up here for whatever reason they have going on. And I think if we remember the last adventure, there was a book of Loth that the elder elemental god. I had the Tormtor house with their tentacle rods trying to utilize this book and the summoning book, and the characters who were petitioning to join the Order of Yule got it instead. So that's kind of the fun things I'll do. And there's no reason why you can't do it wherever you are. If you're in Greyhawk City, even, because we all know that they had that connection to the Castle Greyhawk. There was that army or Sasserine or wherever. You can do it. You can do whatever you want with your Underdark connections, and that's why another thing why I'm in love with so much with Greyhawk is this is the first, right? It's the beginning. It's the beginning of the Underdark, and where connections were, and And Q1 is such an awesome adventure because it takes you to other worlds too, and then it's like, wow! I mean, who came up with that idea? I just was like, when I was
it's your entry to Planescape.
Technically, it is. You're dead on correct.
Yeah,
you're dead on correct. So, Dennis, I'm sorry, I'm going to be ignorant here for a second. I apologize if I bore everyone. I know this Planescape adventure that I hate Modrons. I hate them, right? Because
I agree with you. I think
2x4s and freaking.
Yes.
But
yeah.
What is the Modron March? What is the theory on it? Does it cause chaos when they go through the entire planes? What is it?
So they should cause the opposite. They are orderly.
Yeah.
What a synopsis of what it is? Because I've seen
the adventure, the Great Modron March, is actually a Modron March that's started under false pretenses. It's more complex than that.
Okay.
But what happens is whenever there is the leader of the Modrons dies and is replaced,
Primus.
There's a march that's initiated. I think this is how it works. Yeah, the March on Washington. There's a march that all of the Modrons then march through all the planes in preparation for or searching for their next great leader.
Okay.
Yeah, Primus, exactly, Primus. And so it's supposed to happen like once every several thousand years. Like it's something that doesn't happen very often.
But it causes problems throughout all the planes?
Yeah, it's messes up a lot because you start off with, like, I don't know, millions of Modrons marching, but as it marches through, it's like the March of the Lemmings. They get whittled down until the ones that come all the way back to the end is a very small number that actually survive the entire trip. I mean, they're marching through the abyss and Gehenna, and it's not good places to march an army through, especially if.
So it's their version of Squid Game.
So it's the leader that the one that survives is the leader, so to speak, or they choose the leader or something.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. Well, that's
and
an interesting phenomenon.
But the adventure itself is the Modron March is falsely started. It's because of, and then this is probably giving stuff away.
It's okay, because I'm never going to run it, so don't worry.
There's certain issues with the march not happening on schedule. Okay, well, Sam might remember some of it as well, but the reason for the adventure is because of Tenebrius, which is all it's tied into the death of Orcus and its resurrection is basically what it is.
Okay.
It's Orcus that orchestrates. Orcus orchestrates the Great Modron March because he's searching for something and he's using the march to find it.
Oh, okay.
Right. That's the premise
Orcus.
of the series. Yeah.
Wow.
I think when you said the word orchestrate, it sounds to me like a cool. That's the leftovers from Orcus.
Yeah,
the
because
orchestrate.
Tenebrius is the
Yeah.
reborn Orcus, right?
Tim Stronghold, thanks. So, all right. So, and Dead Gods, if I recall, is in the top 30 adventures of all time. Do I read that correctly, Gary? I'm almost positive it's in that list.
I think it is.
Is that Cook? Who did that? Someone big did that one. Zeb Cook? So, who did Dead Gods? Yeah. All right. So
I don't remember.
I was thinking someone in chat would know.
Yeah, we'll see if somebody can pull up that information.
Yeah.
Gary didn't vote for it.
But it's on that list.
Say, Sam, I agree with it. It's kind of weird.
Like Sam points out,
why do you have to resurrect?
You can't really keep down the Lord of Undead.
Exactly, he's undead. He doesn't need to be resurrected. He
yeah.
As long as he is physically not destroyed, he will come back, and even beyond that. So yeah.
See, now
the thing that he's searching for, I don't know if I want to spoil it or not. The thing he's searching for is not actually something that I'm really big on. I don't like the mechanic of that. I don't know. Should we tell them, Sam?
Yeah, please.
Well, he says it. The word of power. The idea that there's a word that can create or destroy anything, including gods.
No.
I don't.
A word?
That part.
That's too simplified. It's too simple a mechanic. True
what do you
names
think,
like.
Sam? What do you think about the premise behind the word?
Yeah. I like true names though. I like true names because in my view of true names, that's basically you have to find the whole story of the creature and you have to kind of tell that and write it down. That's the true name.
Yeah.
In its native language.
Yeah, Sam points out that they're looking for the wand of Orcus, right? Yeah. But it's Orcus's resurrection that instigates the march. So because the march starts off for false reasons, the march starts out, I don't know if I want it, if I should use the word effed. The march starts off messed up from the beginning, and so there are problems with it. But it's a cool series of adventures, and I've used some of the adventures from the Great Modron March separately, because a lot of the adventures within a lot of the chapters are kind of nice little intact adventers on their own. Like they're kind of independent, and it's easy to use parts of the Great Modron March as independent adventures if you want to tie it into other things. And so I've used some of them already. Will the Great Modron March happen in my campaign world eventually? Yeah, eventually I'll get to it, but I'm not there in my timeline.
Okay.
Yeah. Because Orcus is still alive.
I'm not killing Orcus, but that's okay.
He's already
But he
dead.
comes back. It's okay to kill him.
Yeah. You destroy him, and
so he's like every character in every R.E. Salvatore novel.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm being mean.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
He'll never come on my show after I say shit like that. So. But that's okay. All right. Well, that's good because I know we went off on a tangent on that, but I had no freaking idea. So I knew Dead Gods was in the top 30. St. Bane says screw Orcus. I agree. 100%. And the Lions Prime. What, Gary? What dungeon was that? The top 30 adventures of all time. What number? I thought you'd know. I was gonna throw that up real quick.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Sam, you and I both major Planescape fans. I really do like Planescape. And have tied it into many aspects of my own Greyhawk campaigin.
Oh yeah,
I've stolen ideas from it too.
On the 20th anniversary one, you showed a lot of the ships and all about that, which was really cool. Yeah, I don't remember what dungeon that was. The top modules all the time.
And Sigil is a cool idea.
Yeah, no, Modrons get Thromo as their new leader now. That's not even funny. It's not even funny, man. Yeah, but
it's a little bit funny. It's a little bit funny.
Dead Gods is accurate because you're not really fighting Orcus, but you are, and everything that connects to that. Okay, yeah, because I know it was in the top 30. I wanted to run to that Dragon magazine, but I don't remember what number it was with the top 30s. Either. Yeah, of all time adventures. So I guess we can't this time. I'm not that prepared. All right, so 30. Look at that. We're almost to time. Isn't that crazy how time
really
flies
already?
By? Yeah, Dennis, I'm telling you, it's like boom, boom, boom. So give us a tidbit or thought about some ideas or something you'd like to maybe some things. Hey, throw it out there for a Greyhawk, Underdark, maybe a a catch, something. Wow, you could do this. For me, it's always I love the eternal fight between all the other factions down there in the Underdark. Where you got the Croatoans planning. Remember, I have Croatoans creating Murlocs in my campaign, so I got it. I got it as much as I need. So trying to do San Antonio.
I can give
cool.
you the date for the Dungeon magazine. It was November 2004.
Yeah, but that doesn't. Yeah, I just don't have the number. Because I'm just going to be guessing then. I'm going to be going, oh, this one. So I go to 166. What's the date on that? No. So yeah, I would need a number. So Dungeon 116. There you go, Gary. See how amazing you are.
Yeah.
I gotta have this one.
Don't say that too loud. His head will get even bigger than it is.
He came on. I got to be nice. He came on last week, right?
He's
he came
awesome.
on and had a great. We had a great discussion last week. So I got.
Yeah, there it is. Yep.
Yeah, so Dungeon 116.
That's it.
Here we go. All right, let me go to this.
116.
We'll go to this and we can argue about this because I can show you that Return to Elemental Evil does not belong on this list at all. But we won't argue about that. So there it is. 30 greatest adventures of all time, voted by a lot of people who wanted their own on there, right, Gary? So yeah. What page is that on? Let me go to this. I know Dead Gods is on here. Cauldron. I can't even find it.
It's page 60, 69, 68. Yeah.
Yeah, the list starts backwards on page 71.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm just jumping to number 1.
They start from 30 and then
Ghost Tower Remembrance is 30, 29, 28, 27, 26. Sea Skulls. Dragonlance had to make it in there because none of the other ones would because they're all...
Number 1, Queen of Spiders. Well, that's kind of cheating because that's really like
adventure.
5 adventures.
Yeah. Show Cancer on there, 22, too low. Dark Tower, love it, right? Slave Lords is A1 through 4. I think compilations I'm not up on. Reptile God, yes. Tomokon, yes. Ruins Underground, sure. Olive Dread, 16. Gary Holian writes, the first dual module introduced players to a wider world beyond the castle, forest, and cave. Prophetic there, Gary. I'm just kidding. I don't know. Castle Amber should be ahead of it, but it is. There's Dead Gods.
Castle Amber, I saw was kind of
Monty Cook, Dead Gods. That's
Dead Gods. There you go.
There it is. So Dead Gods.
That's Sean. That's Sean Reynolds on the cover. You know.
Oh, is it really?
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't. So it's a picture of Sean with, as
yeah.
What's his name?
I've tried to find it again and I can't. But I saw the original photo of Sean that they used to give to the artist to create the artwork for it. But that's Sean Reynolds with his bald head.
I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah.
Dead Gods is 14.
I can't find the original photo anymore.
What's the movie with the guy with all the pins in his head? There's three of them.
Pinhead?
Is
Hellraiser.
Hellraiser. So it's Sean Reynolds and Hellraiser mixed together.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. Dwellers of Forbidden City 13, Forge of Fury 12. That's too high.
I don't even know that one.
Yeah, that's one of the. That's got to be. It's Richard Baker.
Is it?
Oh, it's Richard Baker. Yeah. Firestorm Peak 11. Yes. Returns. I don't think many returns should be on here. White Plume Mountain 9. No. Absolutely not. Terrible. 8. Borderlands 7, yes. Desert of Desolation, that's 3 adventures. So Barrier Peaks, Gary probably voted against that. 5, yeah. 4, Temple of Elemental Evil, okay, but I think it should be higher. Tomb of Horrors 3, I can live with that. Ravenloft 2, I can live with that. I loved it when it first came out. It was groundbreaking. It was. And then GD1, all the G, all the D, and the Q all smashed together in one. That's kind of lame, but
it's a super adventure.
It's a super adventure.
I don't really think that much of Tomb of Horrors. Actually, it's a random mess of deadly traps.
That's true. That's true.
That's not an adventure. It's a grinder.
It's okay, Sam.
But
it's like a tech demo of what you can do.
I thought it was like this is to see if you can survive, right? Yeah.
But why? I know as a DM I can kill players anytime I want.
Right. Right.
So it's like, I don't know. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's a collection, a random collection of
Wasn't
Yeah,
SoCant the same way?
well, yeah, lot of these
to some
adventures, but
extent. A
it
lot
just
of those
tells
early
that,
ones.
yeah, it
White
just
Plume
tells.
Mountain
Sorry.
was, to some extent as well. But yeah, Sajkanth was just a collection of rooms with monsters in it that's
Yeah.
ecologically impossible.
That's
Mhm.
5. Gary must be having seizures over this still, being number
No,
5.
it just tells me that the way I play the game is very different from the persons who judged this and made
Yeah.
these.
Yeah, as
Yeah.
Sam says,
You're right, Rob. It's a
Sajkanth
tournament.
wasn't there to kill characters, and
Right. It
and
was
it
there to
wasn't.
stop you from getting to the end. Just
Mhm.
It
it was
was
a series of traps.
it was a random collection of adventures that they could squeeze into a convention play.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
what it was.
But I just wanted to show that it came to my mind. Oh, Dead Gods is on that top
Yeah.
30. And,
Yeah.
Len at least got on here. Len at least got on. Oops, I went way too far. For 29. At least he got one adventure on here, and he got Assassin's Knot on
Yeah,
here.
Assassin's Knot is good. It's good for sure. It's short, but it's a
It
good
was a good
adventure,
story.
yeah.
It was storytelling, right? It was
Yeah,
one of the first
yeah,
ones.
it was. It has it's
Yep.
as opposed to Tomb of Horrors.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
City of Skulls is an underrated adventure. I
Yeah,
think.
Yes,
That's a great.
it's a
that's
good one
cool.
too.
That's
Yeah,
a great
absolutely.
adventure. Yeah,
Mhm.
has a
Absolutely.
good premise.
They can arm in, but hey, and good to see you, Will, too. Just keep in mind, those are all. Most of them were done as tournaments to start, not
A
all.
lot of them were. Yeah,
Yeah.
some of them. Yeah.
Yeah, there are no Forgotten Realms adventures on this list. Well, Firestorm Peak really was. City of Spider Queen comes in here.
Yeah, that's the one that Malin and Elendary are in right now. Yeah.
Okay, so you actually this is the one you're using.
That's the one I'm using,
Okay.
and they're I don't know, 2/3 of the way through. Maybe halfway through it, 2/3. But that's the priestess of Kiaransili there.
Oh, on the cover. Oh, okay,
On the
good. So
cover,
at
yeah.
least we got a reference to the discussion here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or is that Kiaransili herself? I can't remember now. No,
It's
I think it's the priestess. I think it's the high priestess of Kiaransili.
The burning city of Mamoridra.
Yeah, I don't even. Yeah, I just blur it. Mamorahydra or something like that.
Wow,
Yeah.
good. Okay, I would have never
But
gotten that out of
that's
my
the
mouth.
raised. That's the destroyed Lolth Drow city that the fire giants have taken over.
Sounds cool.
It is a cool adventure. It's big. It's epic.
It sounds like a book I need to
nice
get that I
adventure.
don't have.
I think you should.
Okay.
And I think you should immediately adopt it to Greyhawk.
Mhm. Switch out the weaponry to bucklers and
Yes.
Because if
No
you've killed Lolth, who's taking over
I haven't killed
Lolth's
Lolth.
spot? Oh, okay.
They
There you go.
she jumped through the mirror in the end, just like it says you could do, right? At the end of that.
Okay.
And her spider
Alright.
ship collapsed at that point. Remember, this is
Fair enough.
1980 or 81.
Yeah,
This
no.
happened. I'm freaking 12, 13 years old.
They've never gone back?
No.
Oh.
No, we've
You
never
never
done
have it
Q1 again.
left. Yeah.
We've done the adjoining locations in the alternate realms, like
okay.
Say or CD.
I've had people visit Arrow High Kinlu many times.
Yeah, okay. We have too, but we've never gone through the Q series again. They
Right,
never went
Right,
to
yeah.
the.
Neither have we,
yeah,
actually. Neither have we.
It's a good point. So I mean, I wanted to go revisit this. I love Dark Tower. I love Dark Tower. Some people say it's a mess, but I don't care. I love it. So, it's on my-
Undermountain. Yeah, I've briefly
Darkwood?
skimmed through Undermountain, but it's certainly a massive setting.
Well, it's in
How-
a Greenwood.
How useful that would be to Greyhawk, I don't know. I don't know how you would adapt it. But
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot. So hey, this is where we went on a tangent, but I just wanted to go
We
here. Yeah, but it's
you
okay.
took us there.
I did. I took us there. I think it's a
You
good
took
way.
control of the bus steering wheel and you drove
Right
it
off the
road.
cliff, because
We started mentioning modules.
the
and popularity.
Modrons took us right off the frickin' cliff on this one when they all died. Unbelievable. So, like, one Modring makes it back on the march?
Well, I don't remember. Maybe
my-
Sam remembers.
Oh, my God.
Um,
Night's Dark Terror is awesome. Okay, cool. So,
a few dozen.
make
Okay, a
it
few
back.
dozen out of millions make it back.
Best
okay.
Underdark. All right, here's a good question.
They
best.
all reform back on their home plane afterwards anyway. So it's they're just like they're the equivalent of demons or devils or divas, right? You can't really destroy their essence. They reform. So they're
No,
not lost,
Gary.
but
There's no argument at all in my opinion. It's D3. It's
yeah,
not an in-depth adventure, right?
it's
It's a
not.
campaign setting, and there's a lot of
It's like
subplots going.
8 pages.
Yes, you need to develop it, but there's no doubt. This is mine of all time. Now people go, "You're freaking crazy," right? But this is what I grew up with, and I say this is the basis for Drow and Greyhawk. Is this book here? That's There are death lances, there are wands of viscid globs, right? Subterranean lizard mounts, mesodemons, all the fun shit that you need to have in your Greyhawk campaign with your dark elves is in this book. Tentacle rods, all there. Now, Ed expands on it in Drow the Underdark book, right? But that's a mix of Forgotten Realms and Greyhawk. You want pure Greyhawk, go back to this. Yep. So, great question, Gary. What about you? Yeah, you think that's it? That's a Drow the Underdark third edition, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
is it? Yes, yes,
Mhm.
that's the third
Yeah,
edition.
I agree with you, Dennis. I
Okay.
like it. Yep, it's good.
It's a pretty good book, actually. It's got a lot of cool stuff in it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of flavor in it, and
Yeah.
to convert the mechanics and simplify them, but there's a lot of cool flavor and stuff.
It's the Lost City on the list. Yeah, Lost City's on the top 30 list. Lost City's not Underdark though, is it? It's on the list though.
No. No, I don't think it is.
Gary, no. Just note. I mean, I never did Night Below, so maybe if I ran it would be a different story. But for me, I just what everything I do in the game, and I get into a lot of arguments here all the time, and it's okay. With why is a Calavra back and forth, and we're not going over that again. But I love that there's all the Dark Elves are not Wolf worshippers. That's what I like about it. I like that there is a little bit, and if you go into Forgotten Realms, and Ed just did a whole illustrate thing on YouTube. It's cool. You should watch it. Right, on his YouTube channel. He did an entire one on the good goddess of the Drow. If you're really interested in that, it's neat. So I would go there for that too, to get a little more feel. And you don't have to use it for Greyhawk, but we have what's WGH8? Are you talking about Castle Greyhawk, Patrick? So Drow the Underdark was 2E black cover paper. Yes, yeah. Drow the Underdark 2E is great. Ed did a good job with it. So we also talked about Patrick. That's not funny. Do I have to knock more teeth out in BattleTech? Do I really? No, I'm just kidding. So Drow the All right. So what do we? Look at that. We're almost at 9 o'clock. Isn't that crazy? I have so much coming up. I don't even know where to begin with all this stuff. So Dennis, what's going on with you, man? Thanks for coming on. This was a blast.
Yeah, no problem. It's always fun.
Yeah, what do you got? What else you got going on though, man? You got more gaming going on? Finishing up college this year semester?
I finally got all of my marking in for that.
Oh,
so,
good. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what I'm going to work on next. That's D&D related. Yeah, I don't know. Tons of side things. I've got several Spelljammer pages I want to finish. A Planescaper 2 page I want to finish, and I also want to get more of the Castle Melkot, since we or Castle Melkosha, some of that up, since we kind of touched on it back in January.
Yeah.
Lots of little things that I'd like to eventually work up and get on, but it's a matter of time and trying to convince my main player to play again.
Yeah, man, you need to get that going.
Yeah.
Just because it's like, man, I don't know what.
Well, we need to get Malden and Ellenderry off of Faerun again.
Yes, get them the hell out of Faerun and back on the Greyhawk.
Get them back home.
Get him home. Yeah.
You sound like Liamond. I'm just stuck here for a couple of decades.
Stuck there for a while. Yeah.
It's just,
because they're getting ready for the big raid on Orcus's castle. So
cool. looking forward to everything. Des, thanks for coming on. This was a great discussion. We had fun on this and went into. Yeah, Jeremy. I'm going to talk about it shortly. Yeah, just because I know you will get a kick out of it. And so I show some
Cool.
pictures.
Yeah.
So well, Anna.
With Samwise raving over non-Greyhawk material.
See,
Wait a minute.
there are good things outside of the Greyhawk that can be utilized.
Oh, yeah,
Steal,
definitely.
steal from everywhere.
Steal from
Yeah.
everywhere, early and
Well,
often.
everybody has stolen from Greyhawk, so we can steal
Well,
some of it
yeah.
back.
Well, it's
Yeah.
only fair play.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, if Forgotten Realms stole the drow from us, so to speak. So yeah, from Greyhawk. So yeah, we can steal them back again. Yeah.
What's going
Yeah.
on, Anna?
Lots of things in the background. I purchased a new domain name for a future project
Oh,
that
cool.
is kind of tangentially Greyhawk related. So I'm not going to tell details yet, but it's coming. So I'm working on the background. I got some awesome help with GIS stuff. So now I can go into that will help me do the next step in GIS. I'm doing the data entry now, but there is a lot of old coastlines and lakes and stuff needs to be done. So I got help with that. So hopefully that can speed up the process even further to get the GIS maps even more useful. And I'm also about a week and probably about one more week, I'm working on a commission. So therefore,
wow.
so I'm working on a commissions that I've worked for about a week and I work for about another week, and that will be stage one of that commission. Then they will probably go in the back burner for a couple of weeks or a month, and then I will be back and wrapping it up again probably in June. So that is coming. Otherwise, I'm also working on, there will be a cosmology one. I had the rules 101 for my house rules coming out. Now there will be the cosmology 101 coming in, because these things tie together in my house rules. So and then I'm also now digging into Plan B, because the World Machine 4 seems to be a dead end from now on. It's a major fault, and a lot of others have complained about it, and I haven't heard anything in a month. So I have to go into Plan B and use so I have some ideas around how to work with that and actually turn lemons into lemonade. So there will be a presentation about that too, because there's some benefits to it too, not only bad, so to speak, but I have to approach it differently, but that means that I have to kind of do things in a different order, so to speak, because better technology is coming. That it's coming later this year and early next year. That will be even better tools than World Machine 4 out there, or maybe World Machine 4 will come out, or even World Machine 5. This is such a hot area right now. So I don't know what's going to happen next week or next month. So there is new tools coming out every month, and there's so much going on. So right now it's like a minefield where things are going off, and people are launching new products and stuff like that. So whoever comes first, this will be sold. I have no doubt about it. And so it's a good spot to be. It's just, what should I do in the meantime to make use of this waiting time as much as possible to get useful stuff done that will speed things up overall, so to speak. So that's the spot I'm in, and I think I have a scheme that a rabbit hole I will go down in the next 6 months, and then we back on track again, hopefully.
Yeah, it was called Kingdom of the Ghouls, Will.
Yeah. And so that is, yeah, so those are the immediate stuff. So a lot of stuff in the background. So I'm so sorry, because there's not much happening outwards, but a lot of things, pieces of the puzzle is falling into place now for future projects and stuff. So it's kind of really cool. So yeah.
Fantastic. And you're on Friday?
Yes, I'm on Friday. Hopefully we can be on Melinda and me twice a week. That's the try to get up to it. So to twice a week instead of one. So yep.
Oh, wow.
On Friday as well. Yep.
All right. So got some Knights of Yula characters. This is a one shot. It's called Mystery of the Mind. Now this picture may not look familiar to some of you, but I guarantee the next one will. In particular, Anna and Jeremy, who's watching. Huh?
Yeah. Oh yes.
A little different, but a little the same. And these are like 9th level characters, and they all think they're all hot shit. So I don't know. So this is just some great stuff from Gamescape 3D. All the stuff I got, I had at GaryCon. Now I have in my house, so I'm getting to utilize it. So that is tomorrow night. Mystery of the Mind, Gamescape 3D with one giveaway for Reaper as well. And Josh, what are you hiding out somewhere? Good to see you on there. That is Saturday. That is Thursday. Saturday morning, bright and early, 9 a.m. Right. Death in the Lort Mills. We have Nuclear Meat, 3 members of the now new Order of Ulic Initiates, and we're going to be joined by a specialty priestess of Saint Benedor, along with an NPC I've never played before. And I hope it doesn't. Well, we'll see. Let's just say it's going to be out there a little bit. So I will have an NPC in this group too. So do I have a raid target already? Yes, I do. I got a raid target already. Absolutely. Thanks for the recommendation, though I do. So that is Saturday. Then there's a Gabbin Sunday. Now, that's 4 streams this week. I'm going to abuse myself next week. 5 streams next week.
Oh my God.
Wednesday
Now,
night.
how do you find the time for all of this?
I just, not getting divorced, so, I don't know. So, number 1, we have a Gabbin next week. We'll worry about that. I don't know what I'm doing next Thursday. Saturday, I got 2 streams. Gabbin number 300 is Rob Kuntz in the morning at 9 a.m. It has to be at 9. This is my schedule on Saturday the 18th. 9 to 11 a.m., I have Rob on, Anna and Alan Growy joining. 12 to 3, I got to go to my mom's. It's my mom's birthday. I got to go to the birthday party. Then I come home, and then 5, 6 o'clock on is the Red Wedding. Which is, so we got Rob on in the morning, and then we got the wedding event in the evening. So I got a full day on that Saturday 18th. And we'll have all the normal Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday streams. We have 5 on the 18th. So I'm going to regret it.
Wow.
Thanks. Yeah. So, and then there'll be a Gabbin 301 that night. And that's enough of, and then Saturday after that at noon now.
Yatch.
Noon. By the way, that's 6 Eastern, not Central. That was on that thing. It's wrong. It's 6 Eastern. Then I got Bones GMing a little game called Spaces Between with the 4 of us: Darling, Myriad, Henry Dvorak, and myself playing on that. Is at noon on Saturday, May 25th to end out the month. Yeah, I got enough planned.
Crazy.
Yes, that'll be crazy. Tim, what's gonna be crazy is tomorrow. You should try to find a way to play tomorrow, because it's gonna be ugly. I can't wait. But they'll probably kick the crap out of me. 3 of the characters have over 100 hit points. 3 of them out of 5. It's my own doing. It's my own fault. I shouldn't complain. Last call, exclamation point drawing for classic D&D reprint giveaway. So I do. Patrick sent me these, so I do have more Free City. Thanks, doing for stuff. I do have more Free City Grok books. All right, so if you win, you can have that. Alrighty. So let's do this giveaway, and then we'll move on. We're gonna raid into GaryCon Live, because they raid into us so much. So we're gonna raid into them. They're playing Temple of Elemental Evil too, and it's Garner DMing, so that's where we'll go.
Cool.
All right. Gonna close this out. Dennis, thanks for coming on. Another great one. Awesome time. Fun time. We had a fun time there. Closing this out. Let's see who wins tonight. Winner is Sam. Sam Weiss. You let me know what you want. I got almost anything here.
Oh, Sam has everything already.
No, not necessarily. I don't know about that. Does he have this? Do you have? So you walk into a tavern, because it's 5th edition, I think. So there. I bet you he doesn't have that. So you walk into a tavern. So I got stuff.
I don't have that.
Yeah, I don't have that either. But what I need to do is I'm going to go on that top 30 list. I'm going to order that Forgotten Realms adventure and find it. So, yes, Sam does have virtually everything, but a few things are woefully and could be used as really. So you just let me know. So there's Josh. So thanks, everyone. Another great one. I know we went off on a tangent, but I thought that was a fun addition.
I think we got off on a couple of tangents.
Yeah. Hopefully not bad.
But we went into detail. There's so much room in Greyhawk at the Underdark to do whatever the hell you want. But there's some good bases. So better you wake up in a tavern and then you die. What do you do next? That's what Tim would say. So all right, we'll see you all tomorrow night 7:30, please. I know there's a lot going on, but let's have fun. We're gonna raid into GaryCon Live. I'm hitting wrong buttons everywhere here. Gotta find the right button. Jeez, Jay. Hold on. There we go. Boom. Long live. All right, let me set the rate up. Yeah, that was awesome. And it's like hot here again. It's like
It's nice here. It's 80 degrees. It's awesome.
It was
Yeah.
84 here today.
Yeah, we had 82, I think. So yeah, it's wonderful. This is the best time of year. This is November.
Wednesday nights are
October.
crazy because I have. Wait a minute. Raid channel is going blank on me. Oh, come on. Let me try it one more time. One more time. I'm trying to get to Stream Manager, Raid channel. There we go. All right, that center popped up. Starting it up. Oh, Josh jumped ahead. Oh, that's awesome. All right, let's get over 70 here. Looks good. 68. Nice. 5, 4, 3, 2, 69. See you tomorrow night. Have a good one.
Later.
Yeah, that was
Bye.
cool.
70 with Josh. Yeah.
Shut this off.